afternoon, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC weekday number 2, as we are getting ready and set to talk about the AFC East. Man, what a great day yesterday. What a turnout. How about yesterday? Hats off to the AFC West. That was a great show, but hey, we got another great one for you here today as we're getting ready to talk about that AFC East. Today we have 4 more diehards getting ready to take the line and tell us all about their teams. My goodness, the Miami Dolphins. Can this team actually get out of the shadows of like everybody else, it seems? My goodness. The Dolphins are always that team that look like they're playing just for second place, whether it's to the Bills or to the Patriots. Can this team actually take this division for their own? They used to do it they used to do it all the time back in the day. Will they do it this year? I think they have a strong team. We're going to be talking to Mr. George Reed about his Dolphins. Next up, we're going to be heading on over to Foxborough. That's right, y'all. Heading on up to the state of Massachusetts to talk with Mr. Nino Brown, actually a former colleague there of Mr. George Reed. And I'll tell you, by the way, from Choice Titles, gotta check them out coming up. But Nino Brown tells you about those last 2 decades being wonderful. But now, what are the Patriots doing, and can they get another title? Can they rebound from last year's tough go? Then we're heading on over to New York, actually East Rutherford, New Jersey, to talk to our Jets fan here today. Mr. Michael will join us as we get ready and set to talk about those New York Jets. What improvements have they made, and will they be a solid team this year to be able to compete for the AFC East? Maybe, maybe not. And lastly, we head to upstate New York, where we talk to our very own Patty Bax as we end off with a bang as she tells you how far she thinks Bills Mafia will go this season. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in live to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC weekday number 2, AFC East, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we are yet again. It is day number 6 overall of 8 divisions in 8 days, and day number 2 of AFC week. Man, I am burnt. I have recorded, I just got the Jaguars to go, but man, I've recorded 31 interviews in the last 2 weeks, so that's been a lot of, yay, hats off to me, yay, I know, thank you guys, just kidding, but it has really been something, man. We have really hit stride, and what a show, what a season, and I'll tell you, we have really had a lot of fun. I have had so much fun this week, this week and last week. And I am just, my voice is almost gone, but I've certainly enjoyed it, and this is always a fun time for me, and I really love being on here, and just talking with these true diehards. That's what we're all about, that's what we're all about. So, with that said, I mentioned in the introduction so much to get to today. Oh my goodness. This division is so odd. The Patriots ran it for about 20 years, 2 decades. The Jets were somewhat good in 04, and then again in 2010. I mean, hey, they had sparks in there. The Bills had small sparks, but they're now the team. They were the team to actually really overthrow the Patriots. This decade. And then the Dolphins, they've always just kind of been the Dolphins, they've been solid, but they haven't been great. So it's like, this division it's a weirdo, but I love it because what are we getting in this division? We're going to get some fun. We're going to have some fun in this thing because we really don't know. The Bills look like they could be a Super Bowl caliber team. My goodness, they look that good. But will they do it? The Patriots, it's Bill. I don't care what anybody has to say. It's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, as long as he is there, they're the Patriots, you guys. That's it. There's no other way to say it. So, there's that. And then, of course, the Jets, can they do something to be better, And it's like, you see how, I don't know, I remember I know the Mark Sanchez years, one can make fun of him and say the butt fumble, but don't forget, what were they, like in the AFC Championship game, I believe? They weren't too far. They were a solid team for a while with Rex Ryan. And then, of course, those Dolphins, it's incredible. I remember doing research about the Dolphins a couple years ago for the show and seeing that never in their history had they gone like a couple of years without making the playoffs. And then finally in 2000 to 2008, that was the longest they ever went, 8 years. And then 2008, 2016, it was another 8 years. Is it going to be another 8 years? Or are they going to, break into the playoffs this year? They have a solid team, but have they put it together fully? So, I don't know. There is just so much, and I really enjoyed speaking with all of our diehards. Pretty cool. Our first two, our Dolphins and Patriots fans, first two up, George Reed and Nino Brown. They were former colleagues at Toilets to Titles. Super cool, and both of these guys, it was a pleasure speaking to them both. Michael was a great guy. It was a lot of fun talking with him about his Jets. Really optimistic views for the Bills. I'll tell you that one. You should hear that one coming up. And then, of course, Miss Patty Bax ending things off in Patty Bax style. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it was a great show, and, make sure to sit back and enjoy all 4 of these interviews here today, and then stay tuned, because I'll be back for my final weigh-in at the end of the show to tell you who I think will be, first, second, third, and fourth, and, what their records could possibly be according to at least, what I think. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, AFC Week Day number 2, as we talk AFC East, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Don't go nowhere, y'all. We're going to start things off with Dolphins right after this.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's going on, everyone? Are you a fan of the greatest sport in the world? Then do I have the show for you. This is the Soccer Scoreboard Show, hosted by me, Andrew Hagenball, where I will take you on a journey around the world of soccer, talking important news, scores from all major leagues, including some you may never heard of before, tournaments, and so much more. Be sure you tune in every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we go. We have finished up with the AFC West yesterday, and here we are today getting underway with the AFC East. And how are we going to do that? Oh, well, we're going to have ourselves some fun with a newcomer who I hope sticks around for a long, long, long time because he's a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, these Miami Dolphins have had some years. I mean, they were once upon a time one of the most dominant teams in the NFL. Then they went, I think, a few years without making the playoffs in the 90s, and they returned. Then, I think from 2000 to 2008, if I'm not mistaken, they missed the playoffs. That was their longest they've ever gone without missing the playoffs. And then they did it again up into 2016, if I'm not mistaken, right around there. That was another 8-year layoff. And, well, here we go again. Can the Dolphins get back to those playoffs? What's going on? Now that Brady's no longer terrorizing the AFC East, what is going on? But is it now the Bills era? Can these Dolphins get a lasso and pull those Bills back? I mean, what is it? Can the Jets actually do something? I mean, once again, this is a very exciting division. And, well, here to help me talk about these Miami Dolphins, he is die-hard Miami Dolphins fan. And all-around great guy. I talked to him for just a few minutes, and, man, he's a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to have him here, like I said, for hopefully his first time of many. He is, of course, once again, die-hard Miami Dolphins fan, does a number of great shows here, does some really cool stuff, looks like, from his Twitter. He is, of course, Mr. George Reed of Toast to Titles. Mr. George, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fantastic. You talked about the 20-plus years that the Dolphins haven't really been very relevant, and it really hurts my heart because Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have owned this division, and our Dolphins have just been crap for like the last 20 years. We're starting to turn it around. The last 2 years have been very promising, just missed the playoffs the last 2 years. Hopefully with the additions, and we'll get into that after, that we've made this offseason, hopefully this is a year we can get in.
You know what? There's lots of promise, I believe, in this young team, and, well, we shall see. But, all right, well, let's go ahead and start things off with last year. I know, sorry. You can throw things at me, George. It's okay. I'm sorry. But you can punch me through the phone. It's okay. But we got to relive last year just a little bit. 9-8, not a bad year. Really not a bad year, but then again, not the best. The Bills going 11-6. The Patriots going 10-7. Of course, they were dethroned by those Bills. You guys were right there, 9-8, so close. Then the Jets at 4-13 in the basement. Then we get into the season itself. Okay, so courtesy here of FBschedules.com, great website here. You guys went 9-8 overall, 4-2 in the East. Let's take in the AFC East. Let's take a look. You guys start off with a great victory over the New England Patriots. If there's a way to start off the season, it's to beat the Patriots, in my opinion, because what they've done for so long to all of you guys that aren't the Patriots in the AFC East. Then you guys will go ahead and take a gigantic L to the Bills, complete shutout, 35-0. Then I'm actually a Raider fan, so close one there with the Raiders in week 3. Very, very close game in overtime. I remember that one. Then it's like, man, it went downhill from week 2 all the way to, my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games skid. Finally, you guys stopped the bleeding on November 7th with the victory over the Houston Texans. Then you go on. I mean, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. You lose 7 games, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You lose 7, and then you win 7 straight. Go figure that out. Then you guys will drop one to Tennessee, pretty bad, and then you guys will end off with a nice victory over New England. Mr. George, can you please tell us, because, my gosh, I would be pulling my hair out. Please let us know every raw emotion from you last year as a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, so the start of the season was fantastic. Like going to New England to open the season, you've got Tua, who's done particularly well when he's played the Patriots. As a starting quarterback, he's never lost to them. So you go to New England to open the season, to beat Bill Belichick and the Patriots in New England was fantastic. The first series of that Bills game in week 2, Jesse Davis, who, by the way, is just absolutely atrocious, starting left tackle for us last year, or right tackle, rather, for us last year. He missed a block, and that's what caused Tua to get all his broken ribs. So Tua missed that game, almost the entire game. It was like the first series. He went out, and then we had Jacoby Brissett come in, and that just killed any chance we had of winning, really, to start the season. the Raiders game, as you mentioned, that went to overtime. We lost by a field goal. The Colts, the Colts were victoryless at that point. We lost to them. We got drummed by the Buccaneers, and then we went over to England, and we played the Jaguars. And at that point, playing the Jaguars had a 20-game losing streak. And going into the fourth quarter, and really the final 2 minutes of the game, Miami was up with their offense on the side. All our defense had to do was get a stop, and we would have beat the Jaguars in England, and we couldn't do that. And then most teams would take the bye week after the England game, but Miami Dolphins are not most teams. So what we decided to do is, after playing a game overseas, our coach opted not to take the bye week, and we ended up playing the Falcons. And I was at that Falcons game. I was being honored by the Dolphins team as the military salute of the game. So I got to spend most of the entire third quarter literally on the sideline.
That's awesome.
Like 10 yards from where all the action was being taken from the field. And that was another game the Dolphins should have won. Again, Tua had two real bad interceptions in that game in the fourth quarter, but the defense made stops after both of them. And again, with under 2 minutes left in the game, the Dolphins were up and the offense was on the sideline. And all the defense had to do was get a stop, and we would have beat the Falcons that game. And we couldn't even do that. The Falcons marched right down, and on the final play of the game, they kicked like a 22-yard field goal to win. So between the Jaguars and the Falcons games, like, those were absolute heartbreaks. You should have won those games. You were in position to win. The offense had actually done its job, and the Dolphins' defense, which surprisingly, the defense was what the Dolphins were known for. Like, everybody looked at the Dolphins like, okay, they got a good defense. They just could not stop two really bad offenses last year. And then we played the Bills again, and we didn't lose 35-0 this time. We actually kept that game close for 3 quarters, and then after the third quarter, like, the Bills went up, and we were undermanned compared to the Bills last year. And then we went on a win streak. Like, we beat teams really that good teams should be beating. Like, we beat the Texans. Okay, the Dolphins should have beaten the Texans. They're a better team. The Ravens, we played them on Thursday night. That was the game where Jacoby Brissett started. He got injured in the first quarter. Tua came in, and the Dolphins just did all-out blitzes every play, and there was nothing the Ravens could do to stop it. So that was probably our most impressive win of the season, was a Thursday night game against the Baltimore Ravens, the nationally televised whatnot. The Dolphins have had the Jets number for the last couple of years. So beating the Jets, they're a bad team. We should have beat them. The Panthers were a good team, but they were completely undermanned. They had a bunch of COVID issues and injuries. The Giants were a terrible team. Again, the Jets were a terrible team. The Saints are a very good team, but they had Taysom Hill starting. They also had a whole bunch of players out with COVID. So they were severely undermanned. We got drummed by the Titans. Everybody looks at that Titans game as the game that cost the Dolphins the Patriots, and I don't think that was true. Like, you go through a season, and you start the season 1-7, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. So the Dolphins lost to the Titans. That officially knocked us out of the playoffs. And then the final game of the season, we beat the Patriots. So it was a really up and down season. You had like an emotional roller coaster with the first victory of the year being in New England. Then you go on this just unconventional, unfathomable 7-game losing streak. And then you come back to win, I believe it's 7 of the last 8 or 8 of the last 9 or whatever it is. It's like, it was just a tale of 2 seasons. And unfortunately, we had some losses that we should have had as wins. And if we would have won the games that we should have won, or at least the ones we had the leads going into the fourth quarter, you're talking about the Dolphins not only being in the playoffs, but pushing the Bills for the AFC East. So it was just an emotional season last year for Dolphins fans.
That's incredible, man. You guys, that's wow. And that's awesome. The 50-yard line, that is amazing, man. That's really cool to hear. And by the way, thank you very much for your service, good sir. We really appreciate you, and thank you for allowing people like myself to do what we do. Thank you for your service. We thank you very much for that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So with that said, wow, I love it. You get tons of raw emotion in that, and my goodness, it couldn't have been said any better than from a true diehard like yourself. So let's move forward into free agency. So we'll close the door on that season, and here we go into this season. So you guys will acquire some big names, such as, I don't know, Tyreek Hill, Terran Armstead coming on over from the Saints, of course. Tyreek Hill coming over from the Chiefs here. We got, who else? Raheem Mostert, a guy who the Niners really relied on in that backfield, is now a Dolphin. Melvin Ingram, wow, that is huge, knowing that he's coming on over from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. So lots of big pickups here, but then again, there were a lot of departures as well. We're talking guys such as, let's take a look here, Devontae Parker is now going over to enemy territory, being a Patriot. You guys have a guy like Jesse Davis, big guy, tackle going over to the Vikings. Philip Lindsay headed over to the Colts. Just lots of names, lots of moving pieces, as every offseason is. I'm not going to go too far into detail. You go ahead and do that if you'd like. With that said, Mr. George, tell us all about it, man. What did you think of this year's free agency?
Well, so our free agency actually started right before the draft, and that was when we traded for Tyreek Hill. Like, we had some minor signings before that. Like, we had signed Cedric Wilson, who people were really excited about, thinking he would be our wide receiver 3, our slot wide receiver. The Dolphins gave him a 3-year, $22 million deal. Then we traded Tyreek Hill, which was absolutely huge because word came out, and this happened so fast. Word came out of Kansas City that Tyreek Hill wanted to be traded, and then it came down to he wants to go to either the Jets or the Dolphins. And at that point, Miami Dolphin fans, we're so used to not being able to have our front office do anything right. Like, we wanted Tyreek, but we really didn't think we were going to get him. And then it came out that we got him, and that was huge. You could pair Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Cedric Wilson as the 3 wide receivers to what we had last year, and it's night and day. We've got probably one of the best and one of the deepest wide receiving cores now in the NFL, and the wide receiver core speed says nothing but speed. Tyreek Hill is probably the fastest in the NFL. Jalen Waddle, according to this year's Madden, has got like a 97 speed rating. You talked about Raheem Mostert, who the Dolphins signed, who is also one of the faster running backs in the NFL. Mike Gesicki at tight end is one of the fastest tight ends in the league. So our offense now is predicated on speed. We also added Teron Armstead, like you mentioned. They signed him for a 5-year, $87 million deal. The issue with Teron Armstead has always been his health, though. Since 2016, he's only played in 64 of 97 possible games. So the Dolphins are really, really banking that he remains healthy, because if he doesn't, our line is going to be almost as bad as it was last year. And last year we had a decent running line, but our pass blocking was absolutely atrocious. They were the 32nd ranked pass offensive line in the league. So getting Teron Armstead, getting Connor Williams to help shore up and start for the offensive line, as long as we can get improvements from Austin Jackson and Jesse Davis, who I believe will fill out the rest of the starting line along with Robert Hunt. As long as we can go from like the 32nd graded passing offensive line to like maybe the 20th, I think this Dolphins and the offense as a whole will be a huge improvement. You mentioned the running backs. We redid our entire running back core. We added Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, and Sonny Michel for the first time in I can't even remember how long it's been. We've got a fullback on the team in Alec Ingold. The issue with him is he tore his ACL in November, so hopefully he'll be ready to go. And then we brought over Mike McDaniel, who was the run game coordinator / offensive coordinator for the 49ers for the last few years. So, and he's already said that he wants to do nothing but run the ball. So with the speed we have, the talent we have, everything is there for the Dolphins to contend, I believe, with the Buffalo Bills for the division this year.
Man, what a great job on free agency there, man. Great analysis. And absolutely loved it. Included so much of it, and you really wrapped up the Dolphins super fast there. You wrapped up a whole bunch, I believe, in a short amount of time. Really good job there, George. Awesome stuff, man. And thanks for that great sum up of free agency. So let's head on over to the draft. No first or second rounders for you guys, but man, I felt that you got some good quality. I really do in the later rounds. Channing Tittle, I mean, a linebacker that I feel is an absolute monster. The guy played very well. Georgia had a record 8 players go in the first round, and my goodness, it didn't stop there. They had more players going throughout all of the draft. I mean, guys that just got overlooked, I feel. Just lots of good players. So this young man will head on over to the Dolphins. We have Eric Ezukanma, I believe. I don't butcher his name there, but wide receiver out of Texas Tech. I mean, it wasn't, of course, and that was the 4th round. And then there was nothing. You had 2 7th-round picks, Cameron Good, linebacker out of Cal, and then Skylar Thompson, quarterback out of Kansas State. Overall, it wasn't the most spectacular draft. There wasn't a whole bunch of picks. But, for the guys that you did get, I feel like they can, can give some help. I don't know about the later round guys. Those are always the maybe practice teamers, maybe not make the team kind of deal. I get it. But at least your 3rd and 4th picks, I really felt like, these guys can plug in somewhere and make something happen. So, I don't know. What were your thoughts on the draft this year, George?
So I always say our 1st and 2nd round pick was Tyreek Hill, because that's what we traded away to get him. We traded a 1st, a 2nd, a 4th this year, a 4th, and a 6th next year. So our 1st and 2nd round pick was Tyreek Hill. So I'm going to add him to the draft. So the first 2 rounds we took Tyreek Hill, as you said. Channing Tindall in the 3rd, Eric Exuma in the 4th, Cameron Good in the 7th, and then Skylar Thompson in the 7th as well. Tindall is somebody who I was not expecting to be there when Miami drafted. You mentioned he's a linebacker from Georgia. Couple of linebackers went ahead of him from Georgia. He was the 3rd best, but he was also the fastest. So he gives Miami something that we have not had at the linebacker position, which again sums up this Miami team in general, is speed. He was the fastest linebacker on that Georgia team, and we're expecting him to be able to come in and help with running backs out of the backfield, help cover tight ends. By the end of the year, I expect him to start. It's going to be a slow process for him to transition, but I slowly expect him to become the starter at linebacker, the outside linebacker by the end of the year. Eric Uzama, he's somebody who I could see being the 4th or 5th wide receiver on this team. So the first 3 are set with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Cedric Wilson. And then after those 3, it's kind of like an open competition between Preston Williams, who the Dolphins, they re-signed him this offseason. They only signed him for 1 year, basically $2 million deal. They spent a 4th rounder on Exama. I think that's how it's pronounced. So I expect him to compete with Preston Williams. There's a chance Preston Williams doesn't make this team. I think Uzama will make the team. He'll be the 4th or the 5th wide receiver. Cameron Good, he might be a special teams guy. I mean, you're not expecting a whole lot from a 7th-round pick. And then Skylar Thompson, I really like him, and I like the fact that the Dolphins drafted him in the 7th round. He's not going to start or even sniff the field with Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater ahead of him. But what he will be is a development quarterback, and I'm not expecting them to bring back Teddy Bridgewater next year. And if Skylar Thompson can go in there, learn the system, and progress, he might be that steady backup quarterback for the Dolphins for the next couple of years. And to get one in the 7th round, to get him as cheap as he is, if he can progress and learn the system and whatnot, like it's a steal for the Dolphins. He's a very good quarterback. He's very mobile. He fits exactly what the Dolphins want to do, but he's not nearly as talented as the 2 guys ahead of him. So he's a development guy. I expect him probably to end up on the practice squad if the Dolphins don't carry 3 quarterbacks. But I like what they did with the draft with what they had. And as you mentioned earlier, they really didn't have a whole lot of picks to work with anyway.
That was amazing. Great stuff there as well. And I feel like, honestly, yeah, with the quality you guys did get, though, great stuff. I mean, really, that's the way to sum it up, right, George? They did the best of what they could, with the picks they had, and my gosh, I think they made the absolute most of it. So taking a look here of the schedule. Man, looking at this here, courtesy of FBschedules.com, of course, the good old AFC West. But then who else is coming to play? It looks like we have the NFC North coming on over, and I do believe, it is, yes, the NFC North coming to town for you guys this year, and if I am not mistaken, I see the NFC North as well. So it looks like we've got both Norths coming to town. And then the outlier teams, let's take a look who they are. The Chargers out of the AFC West and the Niners out of the NFC West. Whew, this looks like a fun schedule. Looking at the schedule right here, George, what do you think? What do you think your Dolphins are capable of doing this year?
So we start again with the Patriots. I think this is like the third year in a row that the Dolphins and the Patriots have opened the season. Our first couple of games are going to be really difficult. We get the Patriots, then we get the Ravens, who should be improved from last year. Then we get the Bills in week 3, which is going to be a big game for us because we've lost like 9 straight or 7 straight or something ridiculous to the Bills. And the Bills are the class of the AFC East, and if the Miami Dolphins want to compete for that title, we have to beat the Bills. And then we get the Bengals on a Thursday night game. So we go to Buffalo, and then after that, we get the Bills at home, and then we travel to Ohio to play the Bengals on a Thursday night game. So that's going to be, a tough little stretch right there. If the Dolphins could come out of that stretch 2-2 or better, I'll be super, super happy. But those are the toughest games to start the season. And then after that, the schedule really lightens up for Miami. We get the Jets, the Vikings, which will be a good game. The Steelers should be a good game, but like Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett will be the quarterback. We get the Lions, who, the Lions should be an improved team, but I think the Dolphins are a better team than them. We get the Bears with whatever they got going on there with Justin Fields. The Browns is an interesting game because of all the Deshaun Watson rumors the last couple of years, and we don't really even know if Deshaun Watson is going to be playing this year. So we may be able to get the Browns with Jacoby Brissett, or maybe they trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, who knows. But we get the Browns with potentially a backup or worse quarterback. The Texans, who are not very good. The 49ers game is going to be a very, very fun game. This is a West Coast trip, starts our West Coast trip. We got 2 consecutive weeks on the West Coast where we go to the 49ers and then we go to the Chargers. So we'll probably stay out there for that, for those 2 games. Then we get to go to Buffalo. So, that game, they'll probably flex that. That needs to be a game we need to win. We either got to win that one or the one in week 3. One or the other, but the Dolphins have to be able to split the season series with the Bills if they want to have any hope of winning the AFC East. Then we get the Packers, which will be a tough game. The Patriots will be a tough game, and then we get the Jets to close it out. So our season is it's a total of 3 halves of the season. We have the beginning half, which the first 4 games is going to be tough. The middle part of the season really opens up where we should be able to string a bunch of wins together. And then the back half down the home stretch with the 49ers, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Patriots should be a little bit more difficult. If you're looking for an overall record for the team, I'm going to say we go out and we can get 11 games. I'm going to give us 11-6. 10-7, 11-6 is what I think the Dolphins will end up at the end of the season.
Man, another great analysis there, George. You know what? That right there is very realistic. These Dolphins are rebuilding. There's lots. I feel like the rebuild is coming to a close. You guys are getting a lot of what you need. You never stop building, but I'm talking about the major rebuild. I mean, honestly, these Dolphins look like they can really compete this year, and I'm really excited for that. So with that said, George, there's one final segment. Just one more. And this one's so much fun because, there's 3 other teams that you don't really care for in this division. And those three teams kind of feel the same about you. Kind of funny, your buddy is going to be on here talking Patriots with me soon, and he's probably going to have some unkind things to say about those Dolphins. And, well, let's just say this segment is all about that fun stuff. So with that said, this segment is so much fun because it goes to show you so many fans approach this so differently. Some are nice and respectful and choose not to say nothing too crazy, and they're just real about, just doing their thing, and hey, whatever happens, happens. Some are mean and fiery and love to tell the fans how they really feel, and some give a nice combination of both. So, with that said, George, you can be nice and respectful, you can be mean and ugly, or you can have a combination of both. But please let us know how you think those other three teams in your division, in this AFC East, are going to do this year. And please don't hesitate to tell us how you really feel about them. With that said, George, you got 2 minutes on the clock. Stick it to them.
So I'll start with the Buffalo Bills. And for them, I'll be respectful just because of the fact they've owned us for like the last 4 years. I do believe the Buffalo Bills are the most complete team, top to bottom, in the entire NFL, not just the AFC or the AFC East. So I'll be respectful to the Bills. This is still their division to lose, in my eyes. You look at what they've done in the last couple of years. They added Von Miller to a team that was 13 seconds away from going to the AFC Championship game last year. Mm-hmm. So you bring in a Super Bowl veteran, Super Bowl winner, Von Miller. They signed him to a multi-year deal. Again, the Bills, I am not going to sit here and trash talk them because I can't. I can't even say we split with them. They own us. So until we punch that bully in the mouth, I'll show a little bit of respect to the Bills and their fan base. I don't mind that team that much at all. Next, we'll go to the New England Patriots. And this is kind of funny because I am actually from New England. I was born just outside of Boston, lived there for 14 years. And I cannot stand the Patriots. Maybe it's because they've owned us for 20 years. Maybe it's because they're just a bunch of cheaters. Maybe it's because Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in the NFL history. And maybe it's all of the above. But Patriots fans are delusional. They think Mac Jones is the second coming of Tom Brady. They think because he was like the fifth replacement in the Pro Bowl that last year that now he's a rookie quarterback with a Pro Bowl appearance on his resume that he's good. He's not. Dude went out literally one game and threw the ball 3 times, excuse me. In every game that the Patriots were down by more than one touchdown, they lost. Mac Jones was incapable of bringing them back to a victory. So until I see vast improvement from both him and that Patriots offense, I got no respect for them. Their coach is on his way out the door. Their defense has taken huge step backs. Their offensive line has taken a step back. Their offensive receivers, their best receiver came from the Miami Dolphins, who would have been our 4th wide receiver. The dude has more games on the sideline than he does played, and you're expecting him to change that all of a sudden because he's in New England. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for the top 100 pick for him next year. And the Jets, I'm just going to say the Jets suck. Okay? The Jets and the Jets fans, you guys suck. Okay? You're not a good team. You've won 6 games in 2 years. You haven't had a winning season since I hit puberty. And I'm 42. So you guys suck. Okay? I don't want to see you on Twitter talking about, the Jets are going to make the playoffs. The Jets are a good team. The Jets are better than the Dolphins. They're better than the Bills. They're better than the Patriots. You're not. You're going to lose the AFC East. You're going to be the last in the division again. Keep bragging about your top 5 picks. The reason why you get top 5 picks is because, you suck. And that's it.
Oh, my gosh. Where is that applause button? Man, George, sir, you know how to stick it to him. Man, that was incredible. We had a mixture of both in there, and man, what a way to end off this segment. Big George, that was incredible, man. I just got to say thank you so much for being here today. What a job. We're just about out of time, but I gotta say, please, good sir, plug everything you possibly can. Let everybody know. Let all these diehard Dolphins fans know where to find you. Please, do your thing, man. Where can they find you? Where can they find all the things you do? Let everybody know.
Yeah, so the easiest place to find me is Twitter. It's George Reed FF, spelled R-E-E-D, not R-E-I-D. George Reed FF on Twitter. I do all of my work over at Toilets to Titles. That's Toilets, T-O Titles, all one word. That's where you can find where I do my podcast. That's where you can find my articles. I actually just had my very first article published today, and that was my top 5 coaches in the NFL as of today. And for a little spoiler on that, Bill Belichick is not the number 1 on that list. If you want to find out who is or where he ranked, because he was in the top 5, go over to toiletstotitles.com and search articles at the very top, and mine is the top article right now. I also do work with a charity called, well, it's not a charity, but it's called Break from the Grind. Me and a friend of mine, Jason, we raise money for Toys for Tots, and every year we run fantasy football leagues. All the league donations that we get are 100% go to Toys for Tots. We give away autographed memorabilia from Pristine Auction as prizes for the league. You can go to my Twitter and look at my pinned post. You can see what we did last year. We ended up buying over $8,000 in toys for our local Toys for Tots here in Brevard County, Florida. And yeah, that's it. Just everything is basically on the Twitter at George Reed FF.
Awesome stuff. George, you have been amazing. I just want to say thanks again for making the time. So you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for taking the time out today to be on the show, man. You are awesome. Look forward to having you on the future show very, very, very soon. Talk more Dolphins. Great stuff, man, and we really, really appreciate your time today, man. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful week, man. God bless you and your family. Have a wonderful show coming up. I know you got some shows and stuff like that. You host multiple, and you do a lot of things, man. So keep it up. Keep up the grind. Thanks again, man, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Absolutely. I'll come back anytime. Just give me a shout. Ask me.
Hey, that sounds like a plan to me, and we definitely want you back here. So, hey, thanks again, George, and have a wonderful rest of your day, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was George, man. What a great guy, man. Mr. George Reed. Great guy. Such a fun show there, a fun segment, and man, he's awesome. So with that said, you guys, that is going to do it for the Dolphins. That's how we start off a show, right? That will do it for those Miami Dolphins. And when we come back, looks like we're going to be talking some Patriots with George's buddy. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. They know each other, so I'm going to say it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. Glad I ran to these two guys to make this show even better. With that said, you guys, you are listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, AFC East Day, right here on AFC Week, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We're talking New England Patriots when we get back right after this.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always willing to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Some say that Indiana is just a flyover state. Flatlands and cornfields, barns and country roads. What if I told you Indiana is the crossroads of America? What if I told you in all other states, basketball is just basketball? In Indiana, basketball is life. Crowded high school basketball gyms on a Friday night, and every barn with a basketball rim and a frayed, worn-out net. If you're interested in the heartbeat of America, and if you're interested in sports, if you have Hoosier running through your veins, the Crossroads Pod with Aaron X is made for you. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Each and every week, the Crossroad Pod covers all of Indiana sports. The pride of the horseshoe of the Indianapolis Colts. The blue-collar, bold swagger of the Indiana Pacers. The relentless pursuit of the sixth banner for the Indiana Hoosiers. The swing of the hammer of the Purdue Boilermakers. The swoop of the Cardinals of Ball State. The summoning of the echoes of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The growl of the Bulldogs of Butler. The intensity of an Indiana fever. The chop of the Indianapolis Indians. At the Crossroads Pod, if it is Indiana, we've got you covered. More than cornfields. More than country back roads. The Crossroads of America. Join me, Aaron X, every week. It's nothing but net.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it. Great segment we just had right now with Mr. George. What a segment that was, by the way. Way to kick off AFC East Day. Once again, if you are just tuning in, welcome to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC week day number 2, AFC Day. We just finished up talking Dolphins with Mr. George. And well, guess what? We are now headed on up to Foxborough, to Boston, of course, well, to Massachusetts. And we are going to be talking Patriots with a buddy of his. Kind of funny. Really, really cool how this whole thing came across. I'm on Twitter, and I just happened to speak with him, and super cool guy, man. So I'm glad to have him here today. And we're getting ready to talk all kinds of Patriots. Wow, what a roller coaster this team has been on the last couple of years. But are they done being dominant? Oh my gosh, that is a question for the ages, right? Here to help me talk about that, I'm glad to welcome here for his first time of hopefully very many. He is, my gosh, hosts all kinds of shows. He is heavily involved in the sports deal, and I'll tell you right now, so glad to have him here once again for hopefully his first time of many. Ladies and gentlemen of toiletstotitles.com, welcoming here my guest for today, Mr. Nino Brown. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me. I'm excited, man. I can't wait to dive into Patriots. And, I got some big shoes to fill in following my buddy Big G, so we'll see what happens.
I love it, man. He was a great great guest, and he had a lot. Man, he was so informative. That guy's like an encyclopedia for the Dolphins. Man, I loved it. It was amazing. So, I know you're going to be just the same, and well, let's go ahead and do the dang thing, man. So, with that said, last year the Patriots. Well, we can go ahead and recap this. 11-6, Bills got it done, man. They finally got you guys off the throne, but you guys weren't far away. 10-7, Dolphins at 9-8, and the Jets at 4-13. Well, not to open old scabs here, but 10-8 overall, 3-4 of the AFC East, and a real brief little recap here. You started off with just a nasty little loss to the Dolphins. They've been a thorn in your guys' side, even during that entire two-decade dominance. Then, of course, you make it all better with a nice big victory over the Jets. 2-game skid with the Saints in Tampa Bay. Kind of tough, I know, to see Brady over there, especially playing against you guys at home in Foxborough. Then you guys would knock off the Houston Texans, lose to the Cowboys in overtime. Tough game there at home. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, man. How about that? Jets, Chargers, Panthers, Browns, Falcons, Titans, and Bills. Nice way to go into a bye week. But then you come out of the bye week, and man, tough going. You guys would fall to the Colts on the road and to Buffalo at home. That might have been the decider right there for the division. You go on over, really pissed off to Jacksonville, or they come on up to face you guys, and you leave. they leave with a 50 burger on them, man. You guys dropped it and got, apparently that was quite the game afterwards where you just let out your aggression, And then lastly, we'll head on down to Miami and take yet another L to those Dolphins, being swept by the Dolphins for the first time in I don't know how many years, 33-24. Then on to Wild Card Weekend, a nice, unfortunately, the way to end this season was the roughest, probably the happiest the Bills have ever been since those 4 falls of Buffalo. But I'll tell you, you guys... It was a rough game, 47-17. It will make your exit out of Buffalo and out of the wild card. I know, you're probably looking at me right now like, great, I didn't want to have to rethink any of that. But really quick, Nino Brown, tell us, man, how was, give us every raw emotion from last year as a Patriots fan.
All right. So we spent a lot of money. I got excited. And we hit on maybe 3 guys. So, Bowen was a good asset, and Henry was a great asset, but Jonathan Smith was terrible. So Nelson Aguilar was terrible. I mean, and, we went on a run, and you said a couple of, it was like 6 or 7 games that we had a run, but we beat up on bad teams, and that's what Bill does. He flexes on bad teams, and he made the guys on the offense feel better. You put up a 50 better against Jacksonville, yeah, that's great, but they were bad.
Yeah.
So he just made the guys feel good. I do believe Matt performed way above what I expected. His expectations, I feel, were low as a rookie coming in, trying to fill Brady's shoes. He had to fight off Cam and all that. I think he did well. He did way better than expected. I'm very happy with Kendrick Bourne's output. I love the running game. I want to see more out of stuff. The line is really scary for me right now. There's a lot going forward. I'm a little nervous about, and the fact that we can't label any coaching staff, my brain just keeps going around and around in circles. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I get you, brother. That was a very, very off year for the Patriots, something we haven't seen before in a long time. And yeah, man, just a lot of variation, a lot of things going down. Totally tough go last year, but hey, at the end of the day, closing the door on that season, it's over. On to this season. Let's talk about this offseason, man. You guys had some free agency moves, a lot actually. There's a lot going on. Well, actually, not a whole bunch, but I don't know. To me, I felt like there was some, key departures, key acquisitions. Let's take a look at the free agency right now for courtesy of overthecap.com. You guys would acquire Devontae Parker from enemy territory. Now, I thought that was pretty solid. Pick up receiver from the Dolphins. Next up, we have guys like Shaquille Mason heading on over to the Buccaneers. Van Noy, man, Patriot, longtime Patriot, and I headed on over to the Chargers. As I mentioned before, I'm a Raider fan, so he's heading on over to the Chargers to make them even better, man. Damn, that's a good team. J.C. Jackson right now headed over to the Chargers as well. You got Ted Karras heading on over to the Bengals. So, I mean, as you can see, there's lots of different departures. Pickups, of course. Hey, you got Ty Montgomery coming on over. I mean, got a little kicker action. Mac Wilson coming over from the Browns. I mean, you get it. I mean, tons and tons of moves here, but let us know, who were your key pickups, key departures? What did you think about free agency this year for the Patriots?
I think they spent all their money last year.
Yeah.
Letting that offensive lineman go, and now David Andrews being put on the PUP list, terrible. I tell you, Wynn, he's a huge, you know what I mean? He's been a huge question mark his whole career. I'm not sold on a Wenu. So letting homeboy go to Cincinnati, just not a good look. I'm not a fan of it. Devontae Parker, yeah, I mean, he had a lot of hype coming out of college, but the guy can't stay healthy, and that'll be the first thing George will tell you. On the field, he produces, but if you're going to be on the field for more than 7 games, that's another question. I really don't know. They let J.C. Jackson walk, which is crazy to me because he was bred right from New England. We drafted him and brought him up on our own thing, so I don't understand how they let him go, and then they bring back a retired cornerback in Malcolm Butler, who didn't get along with the coach. So that alone is crazy. I was more excited about the draft picks, to be honest with you.
Well, that's where we're headed right now. Great call. Great stuff, man. Yeah, that's exactly where we're going. In the first round, 29th overall, Cole Strange, a young man out of Chattanooga. Now, I love this because small school guy. I was a small school guy myself. I'm all about it. And honestly, that's where you get a lot of quality. You talk about guys like Ali Marpet. He just retired, but where did he come from? He came from Hobart University, in I don't know where that is. But regardless, the guy came from a Division III. Okay, I played Division III. The guy played for freaking Division III, got to the NFL, and he ended up blocking for Brady in a Super Bowl and winning. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, I'm just saying I love the small school guys. Bill Belichick is not a stranger to picking up guys who we think can get the job done. It doesn't matter where you come from. So I thought that was pretty solid. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Maybe you agree, maybe disagree. But then a couple more guys just to go down the list. Tyquan Thornton, second round, wide receiver out of Baylor, trying to get some more weapons there. Marcus Jones, corner out of Houston in the third round. Fourth round, Jack Jones, another corner of Arizona State. We can see what we're doing here, kind of adding more to the secondary. Pierre Strong Jr., another guy from a small school state, South Dakota State, the Jacks. Lots of moves here. Bailey Zate, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I always screw it up. Zappy, quarterback out of Western Kentucky, a guy that was very high up on the hype chart. Once again, there's lots of different moves with some later round guys, but man, the floor is yours, Brown. Let us know, man. Tell us about these draft picks and, what are you excited about?
All right, so Cole Strange is a dog. He's a stud, all right? And McVay and the Rams coaching staff can take that smoke and throw it when they said they hoping he was there later round. He wasn't going to be there even in the beginning, past the third pick of the second round. Teams are taking him. He was a stud lineman that went under the radar and got him bubbling after the combine. So I love that pick. At the time, I wanted to throw my beer across the room, but I love the pick now in hindsight. Tyquan Thornton, I'm nervous, man. Baylor receivers scare me. I love Denzel Mims, and we see what he did in the Jets, nothing. So Baylor receivers give me the quivers. I get a little nervous there. These two cornerbacks, I'm in with Jones squared. I like him a lot. I think Marcus Jones is actually going to start because John Jones is on the PUP list to start the year, which, he can come up anytime, but that is never good to see. So when you get a rookie that's going to be taking first-team reps, I'm all about it. Zappy's a career backup. I get it. He threw for 6,000 yards and almost 50 touchdowns, but low in school. I like him. He's going to be a Brian Hoyer. He's probably going to be their backup quarterback for years to come behind Mack, and it's not a bad thing to have 2 rookie deals. So, I'll take that. The 2 running backs, I'm hearing they're going to a Shanahan-style running system now, like a West Coast. I like it. James White on the PUP means that Strong's probably going to get a lot of those receiving reps. I'm big on that. Harris probably going to get redshirted. So I'm big on Strong this year, and Ramonde is my guy. Get on the train, man, because I have a funny feeling Ramonde Stevens is going to be RB1 by midseason. Damian Harris is on his end of his deal, and we all know how Bill feels about paying guys. So I wouldn't be surprised. Here's your hot take. that they don't flip Damian Harris before the trade deadline for a position that they really need.
That's a solid stuff there. I mean, right now, taking a look at the Patriots, I mean, look at this depth chart. I mean, there's actually, I don't know, I feel like there's lots, this is still the Patriots, and it's still, see, this is what pisses me off a lot of the time. Now, I hear this a lot from, oh, well, Patriots, it's over. Okay, look, I get it, okay? Yes, it does get old when you see somebody completely dominate over and over and over. But at the end of the day, I kind of don't really mind that because, in my opinion, that's a damn dynasty. Like, we got to witness history. That was amazing. And honestly, I continue to say it over and over to Patriot haters, like, guys, it's still Bill. Like, he's not gone yet. Bill Belichick is still there. And in my opinion, I'm a very big fan of him. Nick Saban, I just think, they know the damn game so well. And it is what it is. Everyone's got some kind of something on them or saying something or whatever. People can say, oh, well, Nick Saban does this or whatever. Who cares? In my opinion, I just think personally, these are two of the greatest coaches we've ever got to see. And I love that, no matter what, my team or not. So, Belichick.
Oh, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But my problem is, I'm a true patriot. I see it. I don't want to be like those Cowboys from the 90s where it's like, you're still stuck in there worrying about the Super Bowls you won.
Yeah.
That's not a dig. It's not a dig on anybody. You know what I mean? I just a lot of those fans are stuck in it. Everybody around us got better, even in the division. And we just played Buffalo and couldn't get them to punt.
Yeah.
So I worry. So right away, Buffalo's, going to take that division, in my opinion. Miami got much better. Tua can't throw to the right side of the field, so I don't know what goes on there. And the Jets are the Jets. They got a lot of injury. But every other division, there's so many other quarterbacks that can go. I feel like we could win 9 or 10 games and not make the playoffs, man.
And that goes to show you how scary the rest of the NFL is. I mean, it's true. Everybody is getting plenty better, and absolutely, man. So let's take a look at that schedule this year. We have here the New England Patriots. My goodness, what do we got? So we got starting things off. Okay, so Miami. So it looks like, of course, aside from the AFC East schedule, what is it this year? It looks like, I see the AFC North in there, and who is it? The NFC who? Is that the West? No, there's no West in there. Let's see.
They play the Packers, so it's
the North,
Packers.
AFC North.
Yeah.
Wow, look, and then the outlier teams. Looks like we have, well, those are the outlier teams right there. Looks like we got the Raiders out of the AFC West, and the NFC West Cardinals. So looking at the schedule right now, what are you thinking, Dino Brown? What are you thinking for your Patriots this year? I mean, taking a look at the pickups in the offseason.
We can run it down real quick if you want. I mean, I'll go week 1 at Miami. We suck in Miami. We know that, and they took 2 of us last year. So I'll take the L there. I think a W at Pittsburgh because it's Trubisky, and if it's not Trubisky, you got a rookie, and he's going to need to get his feet wet. So Bill kills rookies. So I'll take the W there. So that's 1-1. Ravens game, that's a loss. At Green Bay, that's a loss. So you're 1-3 to start the season, but then you got a W against the Lions. I don't think the Watson's going to play. He'll be suspended still. So you got a W against the Browns. So now you're 3-4. W against the Bears. W against the Jets. And you look at a little streak here. The Colts game, if it was Indy, I'd be scared. But it's at home, so that's another W. And you got a bye week, so you're above 500. I think you're going to take both games against the Jets. Another W. This Minnesota game could be scary because I don't think we got anybody to stop Double J. And Adam Thielen in the slot this year could just kill us. So I think that's a loss. Buffalo's a loss. Arizona's probably a loss. Although Bill does good sometimes with mobile quarterbacks. Sometimes he can't. It's a 50-50 shot. So the Raiders is, you'll love to hear it. That's a loss. McGinnis is going to kill him. They have too much talent there. The Bengals is a loss. And then, at home against Miami. So, that's what? I said 8 wins? Mm-hmm. 9 wins?
Man.
I ain't making the finals, man.
You know what? And honestly, I love this because you're a true diehard, man. Like, seriously, absolute true diehard. You know, like, I love that you give credit where credit's due. And personally, I mean, I don't know. I think some of those losses might end up being wins. I mean, it's Bill. At the end of the day, it's Bill. But, you know, I love it because you're coming at this. You know the game. You know your team. You know the sport. And, yeah, I mean, you gave it as vanilla as you can, personally. I think that was great. A great way to give it. And I really... This team is solid. They're still the Patriots, but you're right. I love how you said that other teams are getting better around you because it's the truth, man. I mean, you know, so it's one of those deals where the Patriots are still this team that can make things happen, but at the end of the day, everybody else is making those moves now and getting there. So solid stuff, man. And, well, we've reached pretty much almost the end here, but there's one last thing to do, and I love it, man. You're a real good guy, man. You certainly have tons of great input, but hey, I mean, once again, we'll see what you want to do in this segment. But this last segment is called Stick It to 'Em. Now, very simple. Oh yeah, your buddy George had a ball with this one, and I'll tell you right now, Stick It to 'Em is a fun segment because we get to see fans be fans in every kind of way. We have some that are nice and respectful, very nice, respectful, that are like, you know what, man, we have a hell of a division, and I'm going to say this about this team, and this team, but, you know, overall, I think we're better, or I think we might be a little worse, or whatever, and they're very respectful. Then we have other ones who are just fiery as hell, that just give it to the other three teams, and my goodness, it is incredible. Some of these, how crazy they get, low blows and all. Then we have some that are the mix of the two. Yeah, I respect this team, but screw this team. So I love it. So this is what we're going to do, Nino Brown. We have 2 minutes on the clock. Let us know. You just told us how you think the Patriots are going to do. You don't got to go over the schedules or anything, but you can go ahead and just, address them all as an entire franchise, if you will, going into the season. But there are 3 other teams in this division, the AFC East, that you don't really care too much for, and, well, they don't really care too much about you. And the best part is that's what makes the sport even better with the rivalry. So, with that said, you have 2 minutes on the clock. Let us know how you think those other 3 teams are going to do this year, and also don't hold back if you want to let us know how you really feel about them. 2 minutes on the clock, Nino Brown. Stick it to them.
All right. I'll throw out some stick 'em. Here we go. I like the Bills. I think Josh Allen's a stud. Gabe Davis, fade. The hype, it ain't real. All right. The man's gotten progressively worse in the last 3 years from his rookie year till now. He had a 4-touchdown game, and everybody put him on a pedestal. Knock that pedestal down. Get that man off his horse. All right. They're probably going to win 13 games, maybe 14 games. The Jets, trash. Mekhi Becton can't stay healthy. They got 2 stud wide receivers. But can you keep Zach Wilson upright? Your stud lineman is now out. Is Brees Hall going to be able to carry the rock? Is he going to get 200-plus carries? Did you just screw your second-round draft pick? Let's see what happens there. They might be lucky to get 6 wins this year. They could be in the basement again and a candidate for, Robert Saleh to get thrown in the outhouse and get fired. So we'll see there. George, I'm coming for your Dolphins now, buddy. All right? If your quarterback can't throw to the right side of the field, how is he going to support 2 elite wide receivers and a tight end that plays like a wide receiver? They can't all line up on the left side. So he better learn real quick. They better put some guys in front of him on the block and shake those cobwebs off, or you guys aren't going to be doing much. That defense is stellar. That secondary is stellar. I agree. Howard is a dog. I don't think that they're going to beat us twice this year. We will split, and that game in Miami will be closer than everybody thinks. But I'm going to tell you right now, the hot seat for Tua, he's sitting right next to it. He's right there. It's like a hot plate to him. He can feel the heat. He messes up, and he's gone. So,
ladies and gentlemen, Nino Brown. Wait, what a segment, man. Good stuff there. Way to stick it to the rest of the AFC East. I love it. Even in the positive, there was still the fieriness towards the Bills. I loved it. Great stuff. Nino Brown, you've been amazing, man. This has been a great segment, and I know we had to get kind of things moving around. You just fit me in your busy schedule, man. So I appreciate you taking out the time. You seriously showed out today. This was a lot of fun talking to you. Please let us know, brother. Where can all these diehard Patriots find you? Anything else you'd like to plug? Anything else you do? And please, the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can find you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You can find me over at Toilet Titles on Twitter or toilettitles.com. I got some articles up there. I do a Dynasty Diamond segment that's on YouTube for Toilet Titles where it highlights any diamond in the Dynasty that's, falling late in rounds or they should be drafted higher than the ADP. You can get them cheaper. I give you a little bit of advice on them. We're almost at 20 episodes there. Every Friday night, I'm with my guy, @Jared Gray on Twitter. We do T2T presents P2P from the pot to the playoffs. So we're diving in college football. We just started breaking down all the divisions. We were on right before this morning. We did the MAC East and West, and we did a little bit of college rankings. So every Tuesday, I'm with Coach and on the main show. So you can catch me at Toilet Titles 2-3 days a week. I'm live and in charge with everybody.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're able to jump on here this morning. Like I said, I know you're a busy guy. You do tons, man. It seems like people seem to love you, man. Seriously, I see you got a pretty big following. I'm excited to check you guys out, and I really want to check it out and enjoy, man. I always love me some sports, some great content, and I'm positive that's what you guys deliver, man. So I'm so excited to check you guys out, and everybody else out there listening, join me. Please join me. Check these guys out. This is going to be another great season of football, and I'm looking forward to enjoy it with you guys. So, hey, Nino Brown, thanks again, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and hey, have you a great rest of the week, man. God bless. We'll have a wonderful. We will look to have you back on the show very, very, very soon if you're available, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, bro. Thanks again, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You take it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Nino Brown. What a man. What a job. That was awesome. See, that's how I feel. The Patriots, yeah, they are still the Patriots. It seems that time they have, there are still some things that need to be ironed out. But once again, it's still Bill. This team is still a solid team. Can they make the playoffs this year? Of course they can. Anybody can. But do they look realistic to make the playoffs? I think so. Will they win this division? That's a tough one. You'll get my final weigh-in in just a little bit. I'm leaning more towards the Bills right now. As you just heard him as well right now, too, being realistic. But overall, you guys, this team is still very solid. And all it takes is a slip up. We've seen Bill in the past with guys who have no name. And trust me, by the time they're out of New England, whether they retire or go somewhere else, for the majority of the time, they do have a name. And once again, the coaching means a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for the Patriots. We are now halfway through AFC East Day. Really excited for the next two teams, as we'll be talking to Michael for the Jets and Miss Patty Bax for those Bills. So, don't go nowhere, y'all. We are just getting started here, halfway through AFC East Day, and coming on up, we got them Jets, #take flight. You were listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, AFC Week, day number 2. Man, day number 6 of 8 Divisions in 8 Days. That was awesome. We've gotten... Oh, man, I'm like brain wrecked all these interviews I'm recording, but I love them. So, anyway, you guys, once again, we'll take ourselves a quick break. When we get back, we are talking Jets right after this.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio. your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? This is Ben Matello, the host of the Yinza Report, right here on IE Sports Radio. I'm bringing you the latest in the Steel City, the City of Champions, from the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, as well as the college game with both Penn State and Pitt. You could join me every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, where I'll be talking about everything from the Steel City, the City of Champions, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Here we go, moving on into the third team of the day. We are in day number 2 of AFC week, talking the AFC East, right here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Well, we started things off talking Dolphins, Then we transitioned on over to Foxborough to talk about them Patriots. Now we're heading on over to New York to talk about these New York Jets, East Rutherford, New Jersey to be precise. But, New York Jets coming to you live, and I'm glad to have this Jets fan here today. He is diehard Jets fan, and he's actually a podcast host, which is pretty cool. So we'll get to that in just a few more minutes here. So, ladies and gentlemen, glad to welcome in my guest to talk about his New York Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Mr. Michael. What's going on, Michael? Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing today, man?
Well, so tired. Just ended work, but did you do that on purpose? The Jets third because they're going to finish in third place.
Not even. No, these are random order, but hey, you know what? There's reason to believe that these Jets can finish at a high place. They just got to make sure that, well, everything is taken care of, man. And as of last year, take a look at last year. We have here in the AFC East, we have the Bills finishing at 11-6. We have the Patriots at 10-7. The Dolphins at 9-8, and unfortunately, your Jets had a rough go yet again at 4-13. And moving on forward to this, man, the Jets last year just once again, it was a tough go. And that 4-13 season was definitely not the easiest to go about. I'm sorry, I don't want to bring up any more pain, I know, but I want to revisit the season just a little bit, courtesy of FBschedules.com. Once again, the overall schedule 4-13. The AFC East, you guys went 0-6. It was a rough go, man. Again, I know. You guys went 0-3. I promise we'll finish this part really quick, Michael. So, you guys went 0-3 here. We had at Carolina versus New England and at Denver. Then you guys would win one heck of a game, man. 27-24 in overtime, knocking off the soon-to-be, at this point in time, AFC South champion Tennessee Titans. Then you would lose to the Atlanta Falcons, going to the bye week, drop a pretty big one here to the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Then you would defeat the soon-to-be AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals, 34-31. And then they got kind of ugly. You dropped 3 in a row to the Colts, Bills, and the Dolphins. You defeated the Houston Texans, and then after that, it just got ugly again. You guys dropped 3 in a row to the Eagles, Saints, and once again to the Miami Dolphins. You would defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 26-21 at home, and then that was it, man. 2 games, the final 2 games of the season, you dropped them both to Tampa Bay. Very close game, by the way, to the Buccaneers, and then you guys would drop the final game at Buffalo to those Bills, and that was it. I know. It's kind of
you didn't have to remind me about what happened in the Tampa Bay game. I was there.
Oh, man. Well, there you have it. Well, let us know, Michael. Tell us all about last season. Give us every raw emotion as a Jets fan. What was it like?
Let's see. If I wasn't renting an apartment, there would be holes in the wall. Can we talk about 2022?
I know.
I just last year it was like Zach Wilson got hurt, and then he came back, and it was a slow return, and then he had his best game against Tampa, still lost, but it was still his best game of the season. But the silver lining from last season is that it looks to me like, even though I don't really believe in momentum from one season to the next, it looks like Zach Wilson can make that next step. But there's going to be a lot of work from the offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football, because the run defense was awful. And that's a huge reason why they lost 13 games. not just because you have a rookie quarterback who was figuring things out and got hurt and then had to refigure things out. They just couldn't stop anybody. So for me, when I look at last season, you have a rookie quarterback who's trying to figure things out, a defense that can't stop anybody. So for me, even though I said this in one of my episodes, even though I can't quantify it, I believe the lack of defense hurt Zach Wilson's growth from a psychological standpoint as much as it could, I guess, because I can't read Zach Wilson's mind. But a lot of people don't want to talk about the psychological aspect of sports because we can't read people's minds. But when I look at it, I'm like, if you are a young quarterback and you're struggling yourself, and then you have a defense that can't stop anybody, then I think Zach Wilson may put too much pressure on himself to be perfect because he felt like the defense couldn't make stops, couldn't back him up if the offense didn't do their job.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a quarterback putting pressure on himself to be good than perfect. If you're putting yourself out there, no matter what you're doing, whether it's like us talking sports, or going out and playing sports, or even let's throw it out there because I'm a music guy, a concert pianist. If you're putting pressure on yourself to be perfect, you're going to fail. It's going to be even harder of a failure because not only are you not perfect the way you want to be, but especially in sports where other people can negatively affect you, it becomes a snowball.
It really does, honestly, and I think you summed up last season pretty well. It's true. I feel like there was that I don't know, coming into a franchise that is just, hasn't been up to par in a while. It's not easy, man. It really is, and it's true. When you put that kind of pressure on yourself, especially so young, it's not hard. It's not easy, man. It really is easy to mess up, as you said. You will fail. So hopefully they can turn things around this season. Let's take a look at free agency now. Let's close the door on that horrible season. I know, not the best, but let's go ahead and turn the page now and get on into free agency. So you guys went ahead and had some pretty big pickups, some key departures. Let's go ahead and take a look at those, courtesy of overthecap.com. We have here Marcus May heading on over to the Saints, a departure. You guys will have guys like Keelan Cole heading over to the Raiders. I'm a Raider fan, so thank you very much. You have Gerard Davis heading over to the Lions. Jameson Crowder headed over to the Bills. Players like this that will make their departure on over to New York. But then, departure from New York. But then you had some key players, or, at least, I don't want to say key, but, some solid players making their way over to the Jets. CJ Uzuma, tight end, I thought, pretty solid there. You guys got Laken Tomlinson, which I feel is a pretty solid guard coming over from the Niners. We have here Greg Zuerlein. Hey, you got a kicker from the Cowboys coming on over. Marcel Harris, linebacker from the Niners. Jordan Whitehead, strong safety from the Buccaneers. So, just, lots of different pickups here. Ooh, Conklin, also Tyler Conklin, tight end from the Minnesota Vikings. Lots of different moves here, but let us know, what did you think when you were, thinking about all that good stuff? What did you think about free agency this year for your Jets?
I would, if I was the kind of guy who grades free agency, which is not really possible until they go out on the field,
but I would have given it an A. Because the Jets needed to overhaul their tight end room. Yes. They did that. Is it all pros? Is it Pro Bowlers? Even though I hate using Pro Bowls and All-Star games as a measuring stick for how good a player is, that's another time. That's for another time. But because I can do 30 minutes on just why Pro Bowls don't mean anything. But when it comes to, they also have the absolutely upgraded safety. They did that with Jordan Whitehead. The only issue I have really with the off season, whether it be free agency or the draft, which I know you're probably going to get to next, is not getting a free safety and not getting a linebacker. But you can't fill all the Jets' holes that they had one off season. So the Jets are hoping their coaches can develop some of their young players, as their history has shown they can.
Agreed.
At linebacker and safety. But they filled the holes they needed to in free agency well. Last off season, they band-aided with free agency on purpose. This year, they went out and attacked free agency and attacked the weaknesses on this team that they thought they couldn't free agency. So there's nothing wrong with how they attacked free agency and the draft this year. So I would have to give free agency period, even though a reluctant A for now.
Well, I thought it was pretty solid as well, and I think you guys got some pretty big needs, but you're absolutely right. You can't fill all the holes in one offseason. But the draft wasn't too bad either. You guys picked up a guy by the name of Sauce. My goodness, what a draft pick. 4th overall in the first round. Or, of course, fourth overall. Ahmed Sauce Gardner, corner out of Cincinnati, going as one of the best, and we're talking about one of the best DBs off the board early, solid athlete, and certainly somebody who I feel can, make a presence there in that Jets secondary. Next up, you guys would have the number 10 overall pick, and who would you get? Garrett Wilson, wide receiver out of Ohio State. A total speedster, dude that go up and get the ball. I thought that was a great pick as well. And no, you didn't have not one, not two, but 3 first-round picks. My goodness, the Jets needed all of this. And in the 26th overall pick, Jermaine Johnson the second, defensive end out of Florida State, absolute monster. This guy is an edge rusher for the ages, and I feel that he can really make something happen up there for you guys in the trenches. We can only hope, that is, but certainly a solid pickup there. All 3 of those in the first round, my goodness. Then here we have the second round, Breece Hall, running back out of Iowa State. Third round, Jeremy Rucker, tight end, another tight end, out of Ohio State. Lots and lots and lots of players here. Of course, you can go over as many as you'd like to. But let us know, Michael. What did you think about this year's draft for the Jets?
I loved every single pick. I'm beginning to change my mind on how I felt initially. I didn't like the Breece Hall pick, to be honest. I'm probably one of the few Jets fans who didn't like the Breece Hall pick. Not because they traded up for a running back, not because they drafted a running back in the second round. But like I said, they needed linebacker and free safety on the defense. Now, the Jets decided that they were going to go all in on offense and build the weapons and hope their coaches can develop some of the young defensive players. So I can understand why they decided to go with that strategy in a way, and we'll see if it pans out to work. And I hope it does. But the thing is, with the Jets defense, the way they want to run it, it's predicated on getting to the quarterback with your pass rushers and stopping the run a lot with the linebackers and filling the holes. And gap integrity and the linebackers understanding by reading the blocking scheme, whether it's a play action or a run, and not biting too hard on the run on a play action. So
I'll tell you,
they could have used a linebacker.
Yeah,
but I can understand. I do understand why they traded up for Breece Hall, because they're trying to make it better for Zach Wilson on the offensive side of the ball. But last year, the Jets ranked, I believe, 27th in average starting field position. A lot of Jets fans want Zach Wilson to take that year 2 leap that we've seen from guys like Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, and year 3 in the case of Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. All of the guys who I just mentioned, when they took their leap, had major field position in terms of relative to the league. Patrick Mahomes' average starting field position, if I remember correctly, was between the 30 and the 31-yard line when he took it, when he stepped in to his second year and had that monster 50 touchdown season. Joe Burrow's was in the 30s. Josh Allen actually went from between the 25 and the 26 to just outside the 29-yard line. And they were all in the top 12 of the NFL in field position. While the offense can help by putting points on the board, you can't stop anybody. It doesn't matter how many points you score. The Jets can't expect to win a high percentage of their games on shootouts, because that's not how you win football games. You have to stop people, too. The problem is, I don't know what the Jets are going to get from free safety and linebacker. I hope they do well, but based on what I know about the players, it's a huge question mark.
I could see that.
So although I understand where they're coming from, when it comes to the draft, it's TBD.
No, it's agreed. I mean, right now you guys got some weapons. I mean, Corey Davis, strong player. You guys got, you added some strong tight ends in Zuma and Conklin. Honestly, the offensive line, definitely does need a little doctoring up, but I think Tomlinson was a solid pick. You added Sauce to that secondary. You guys already got guys like LaMarcus Joyner. Whitehead you already picked up. I thought Carl Lawson, he's still strong on the defensive line. Now you guys add Johnson to the other side. Quentin Williams is still there, the big man in the middle, to go along with that defensive line. Looks like, once again, courtesy of OurLads.com. John Franklin Myers is there on the other side, in the middle of that defensive line. So overall, you guys got some beef. You just got to, once again, continue it. So looking here at, or continue to build it. So looking here at the Jets schedule this year, courtesy of FBschedules.com, we have here, it looks like you guys have the AFC North, of course, alongside of the AFC East schedule. You guys have here the AFC North, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys have here the NFC North as well. So I see some outlier teams here. Seattle from the NFC East, and it looks like, NFC. I'm stupid. NFC West, and it's been a long day. And then, of course, it looks like, who's your other outlier team you guys got here? It looks like, well, I guess I got to find them right now. Kind of just cruising around. Or the Jaguars from the AFC South. So, I mean, you guys have, a pretty tough schedule. I mean, it's the AFC East is going to be the AFC East. Seattle, of course, being a pretty strong team from what some people can call, the new powerhouse division of the NFL, and that NFC West, very strong. NFC North, it's so-so, but still pretty dominant. I mean, Green Bay, of course, being a big reason because of that. So, I mean, you look at this, and then, of course, the AFC East, I mean, certainly, a tough division as well. Oh, sorry, the AFC North. Certainly a tough division because last year when you have two teams at the bottom who are both 8 and 9, I'm just saying it's a pretty tough division. So looking at all of that moving forward into this year, what do you think personally about your Jets this year? What do you think? What do you see them doing?
7-10, third place.
Well, I think personally that's a good bet. At the moment, I think you guys have a solid foundation. I just got to continue to build on it. But 7-10 is very fair, I feel, for the Jets. And once again, hey, just got to keep rebuilding and keep building on what you guys already have. So solid stuff there. I like it. Short and sweet. So now let's go ahead and get the conclusion of this segment in here, Mr. Michael. It's been a fun segment, and, well, there's only one thing left to do, and that is a little segment we like to call Stick It To 'Em. Now, what is Stick It To 'Em? It's a little bit of fun at the end here where we can go into a little depth. You already talked about your Jets, what you thought they can do this year, what you think they can do this year. Now, what about those other three teams that you love to hate? You love to hate them. They love to hate you right back. They're always fun. But what do you think about those other three teams? What do you think they will do this season, of course? And you can also not hesitate. Let us know how you really feel about them. So you got 2 minutes on the clock, man. You can be nice and polite about those three teams. You can be mean and ugly or a combination of both. Once again, 2 minutes are on the clock, man.
Wait, I only get 2 minutes?
That's it. I know, right? Only get 2 minutes. Let us know about those other three teams in your division. And without further ado, Michael, stick it to them.
I'm not really going to stick it to anybody but the Patriots, which I love getting the opportunity to, because the Dolphins and the Bills are going to be over 500. But the Patriots are going to be in last place this year. Yes, you heard it. You heard it correctly. The Jets are going to finish ahead of the Patriots.
Wow!
For the first time since 2002, when the Patriots actually helped the Jets win the division. And that was the last time the Jets won the AFC East. But I really can't stick it to the other two teams because I believe the Jets are going to lose at least once to the Dolphins. They're going to get swept by the Bills, and the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl.
Whoa, hey, what a solid, you got it. As soon as you got it there, I want to say what a very strong look. I love it. I love how you're like, nope, this is what's going to happen. And you know what? That's awesome, man. So you know what? Patriots definitely having some issues. But, hey, way to have a half respect, half hardcore stick it to them segment. And, well, there you have it, man. So with that,
I can't really stick it to a team that I think is going to win the Super Bowl. So
there you go. Hey, and I totally understand you, man. So with that said, Michael, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Please let us know, though, one last thing. Let us know what you think. What you think. Let us know where we can find you. All these diehard Jets fans, man, where can they find you on social media? Tell us a little bit about your podcast and where everybody can find it, man. Go ahead and get those plugs in, man. Where can we find all those great things?
My podcast is live on Twitter, so you can just follow me at the Sports Palace on Twitter, and then I go live on Twitter usually on the weekends. It's going to usually be Saturday unless I have something special to say. So usually it's going to be Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock, live on Twitter at the Sports Palace. And the show is actually not just a Jets show anymore, it's Jets and Mets. So.
Well, that is awesome, man, and we look forward to checking that out. Thanks again for being here, Michael. You were great. Hey, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, man. Have a wonderful week, and we hope to have you back on the show very soon, man. Take care. God bless. We'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime, brother. Take care. All right, y'all. That was Michael, man. Great guy right there. Solid stuff. And all right, well, with that said, we have one more to get to here today. Once again, we started off with the Dolphins, went on over to the Patriots, and now here we are ending off with the Jets. We have one more to get to today, and that, of course, is those Buffalo Bills. Oh, man, they won it all last year in the AFC East. They went, they got to the playoffs. Can they do it? Michael certainly thinks they can win the Super Bowl this year. So let's take a look and see. We have the Buffalo Bills with Patty Backs coming up, y'all, right after our little break here. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days. This is day number 2 of AFC Week, day number 6 of 8 Divisions in 8 Days. And we just finished up with 3 in the AFC East. One more to go. We're talking Bills Mafia with Miss Patty Backs coming up right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And, of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com. Part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are once again. It is the conclusion of AFC East Day. We are now going to wrap up 2 days of AFC Week here on 3 and Out. 8 divisions in 8 days. Once again, AFC East here, AFC East Day, and day number 2 of AFC Week, and day number 6 of 8 divisions in 8 days. It has been a great 6 days, and well, we are going to conclude it well as we already talked Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. And as you guys heard in that last segment, big thanks again to Michael. He straight up said it, and I can't wait to let our guests here know. Of course, it's no surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, she is diehard Bills fan. This woman embraces Buffalo sports. It is incredible. She has an amazing show here on IE Sports Radio, the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday evening. Make sure to catch her. She writes blogs better than I will ever write in my entire life. And I will tell you right now, I mean, if we all had the same passion and combination of like niceness that this woman does, the sports world would be a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to have her here today to conclude AFC East Day with her AFC East Championship Bills. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Miss Patty Bax. What's going on, Patty? How you doing today?
Oh, thank you. I see you saved the best to last, Larry. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that introduction. I'm so honored and really humbled to be here today, so thank you.
Well, you are very welcome, Miss Patty, and the introduction, it does you no justice, because what you really do is, I mean, I can give you the best introduction in the world, and it still doesn't measure up to what you do for us here at IE Sports Radio, so we really appreciate you, and that show, it's amazing. We appreciate the show here, Cecilia and I. And we just want to say thanks again. This is actually my 12th and final interview on Sunday evening. Of course, this show airing on Tuesday afternoon. But man, it's been a long day. Tried to get all 16 done. Couldn't. But at least I know the other 4 are coming this week. 2 of them tomorrow, and 2, well, we'll find out. But with that said, we got so many great interviews today. And, well, kind of funny. The order of this show was Dolphins, in no particular order. I just do it. Of course, sometimes I try to save the reigning champ of the division for last. Sometimes I don't. This one I definitely wanted to. And today went Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, and Bills. And kind of funny, it just happened to be where the Jets interview was right now before you and I got on the line, Patty. And his prediction was crazy. I know you're going to hear this in the live show when you tune in for that one. But, Patty, I got to tell you now, just so that way you know, this Jets fan, Michael, is awesome. He said, especially in the Stick It To Him segment that we're going to get to in a little bit, that you're just like a little too good at. You're a little too good at sticking to the AFC East. You have some daggers for those three teams. But I will tell you, Michael said that he couldn't stick it to the Miami Dolphins because he thinks that that they're going to go 1-1 with them this year, and that he could not stick it to the Buffalo Bills because he thinks that the Bills are going to not only sweep the Jets but win the Super Bowl this year. That's coming from a Jets fan. That's coming from a Jets fan.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. I'm glad that he has total respect for our team, the Bills, of course.
Well,
that's awesome.
You got to hear this. This is even crazier. Maybe I should save this, but I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have to blab it. Patty, he said that the order of this year, he said the Jets are going to be third place. He says because it's going to be Bills, it's going to be Dolphins, then the Jets. He says, and for the first time in a very long time, they will finish ahead of the Patriots. The Patriots will be in the basement.
You know what? I really agree with him on that one.
Oh,
definitely.
wow.
I when we talk about the Patriots, if we ever do, it's not one of my favorite subjects, obviously, but I can't figure out what's going on with that team, especially with their offensive coordinator or lack thereof or joint efforts. It's just really bizarre that they don't have a designated offensive coordinator.
My goodness, the disrespect. I'm just kidding, Patty. You guys. Patty's like, I don't really care.
No, I don't really care. I don't really care. But I do have to say, I do like the Jets head coach. I found that at the end of the season, he did a great interview, and he talked about the Bills in a very complimentary way. So I don't really have anything bad to say about him. I think that Robert Saleh, he's definitely got their team headed in the right direction, and it'd be curious to see. They actually drafted one of my favorite players. I mean, I knew he wasn't coming to the Bills because we didn't have the number of draft picks. I think they got like 4 in the first round, the Jets, and Sauce Gardner. He was like one of my favorite players. I thought, what a great name for a player to come to the Bills. You know, like chicken wing sauce. Think about the marketing opportunities for Sauce Gardner being on a team in Buffalo with chicken wing sauce. I mean, but it didn't happen. But that's okay. We got some great players in our draft, so it's all good. But I don't. Interestingly enough, I don't disdain the Jets as much as I do the Dolphins and the Patriots. I mean, they're not going to win, but it'd be okay if they finish second, like by about 5 or 6 games. But I'm not worried. I'm not really worried about the Jets or Miami or New England. That's okay.
Daddy, that was pretty funny. I was looking for a sponsorship opportunity right there with a name there. Yeah, she said Sauce Gardner. I'm sorry, that was a good one. Anyway, Patty. That was awesome. And, well, let's take a look at these Bills last year. So, long, gigantic story short, the Bills went 11-6 in the regular season. Of course, the Patriots at 10-7, the Dolphins at 9-8, and the Jets at 4-13. You guys would finish the season overall at 12-7, 6-1 in the East. You guys would take an AFC championship. I know you guys felt good about that. Recapping the schedule here, courtesy of FBschedules.com. Defeating those Pittsburgh Steelers to start off the season. Yay, what a nice losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
tough loss.
We had a couple head scratchers there, Larry, and I actually was at that game, and it was just, a special teams fluky play where we lost. Now, granted, anybody on any team can say it doesn't come down to one play. I mean, you play football, you know that. It doesn't come down to one play.
Yes.
We should have been ahead by a lot more and not let it happen. And I walked out of there just like shaking my head saying, this isn't a great start. And that was the problem. Last year, we needed to have the home field advantage. We needed that, especially in January where it snows and it's cold, for the most part, in Buffalo. We don't have a dome. So having teams come to play us in Buffalo, just like in the Super Bowl years, you know, the one year when we beat the Raiders, and I know you're a Raiders fan, so I'm not really going to go into the score. What was it, like 51-3? No, I'm not going to even go there.
Thank you so much, Patty.
But, you know, the Raiders couldn't handle the cold. Let's face it.
I'm just kidding. No, we couldn't.
Right?
We couldn't. It's true, though.
Yeah.
No, you're so correct. You're so correct, Patty.
Yeah, and I think that was the problem. And we had a couple games. All right, the injury bug hit us. Trey White got injured, and it's just a heartbreaking injury when we were playing on Thanksgiving, and he got injured in New Orleans, his hometown. It's been heartbreaking, and it's been inspiring to watch this man give his all to get back on the field. I mean, he has worked so hard in the off season to come back and play. We don't know if he'll be ready for the season, you know, with his injury, and but we'll see. And then we have a couple players who were out with COVID. A lot of them, you know, the day of the game or right before the game, and it was just head scratching because that one game I think that really was a turning point was the game in Jacksonville. And I was there with my nephew. We flew down from Philadelphia. My nephew's stationed in the Air Force in New Jersey, and we flew down. And we met up, actually, with Harrison Phillips, whose defensive tackle was with the Bills, and sadly, he's now with Minnesota. It just didn't work out. But that game, we actually went to the game together, and I think we were all, like, in shock. And it was like, what just happened here? And there's some theories of what could have happened. The stadium, I got to say, was probably more Bills fans than Jaguar fans, clearly. And I think there was the expectation that we're going to go down there and we're going to win. And you can be a little too fond of yourself, and I don't know if it was the combination of that and the injuries, but it just wasn't our day that day. And then we dropped a couple nail-biters to the Titans and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Titan game, you know, when Josh slipped, we should have won that game. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think we could have won that game. And I think that was the problem. We had a couple of those oopsie kind of games, and we can't allow that this year. We just can't, because every game we have to go into each game with the mindset, which I think our team has right now, that each game matters. And that's how we have to approach the season. Not, okay, we're going to go 15-3. No, we're going to take each game, and I know Sean McDermott breaks it down actually by quarters. You know, let's take the first quarter. We want to finish 4-0 the first quarter, and then we go into the subsequent quarters. But to break it down to get through the whole season. But that's how you got to approach it. You can't just look ahead. You can't look past the teams that have a worse record than you and expect to go in and win. You have to go in with the mindset that each game and any given Sunday, anything can happen. That's what makes the NFL so special. You know, everybody's 0-0 right now, 0-0, clean slate going into the season. But there's injuries, there's luck, there's weather, there's all kinds of factors that are going to impact the season. They were impacting last year. I mean, we had that game, the regular season game against the Patriots where we lost. That had to be one of the worst weather games. And I was there, of course. I've been a season ticket holder for 35 years, went to all 4 Super Bowls the Bills were in. That had to be the worst weather game ever because the wind was actually pushing the ball like sideways.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. The punters and the kickers, they just couldn't kick it. It would go up, and the ball would just kind of hang in the air and then be blown whatever direction at the moment the wind was blowing. Because in that stadium, I know I've invited you to come before they build the new stadium. But
I know.
In that stadium, the wind, it just acts like it's like a tunnel. And the wind can just change direction in a heartbeat. And that's exactly what happened that game. You know, so that's another example. The weather can be a big factor when teams come to Buffalo. And I think that game, the coaches didn't really trust Josh enough to throw the ball because when we got to the fourth quarter and he started throwing it and the receiver started catching, it was like, why didn't we try this before? You know, let's just give it a chance. I mean, but that's the past. We can't go back. We can't go back. I mean, the clear things that went right was that Josh Allen had an incredible stellar season. He tossed for over 4,000 yards. He fired for 36 touchdown passes. He rushed for 6 more. I mean, look at Stephon Diggs. He eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark for the 4th consecutive year. And how can we forget about Gabe Davis? You know, his emergence in the playoff game against KC, he did something that no NFL wide receiver has ever done. He caught 8 passes for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. He became the first player in NFL history to catch 4 touchdown passes in a playoff game.
That's
and this
insane.
guy, isn't that insane? And this guy, in the offseason, every video you see of him just bulking up, working out. I mean, today, it's kind of ironic that we're doing this call today. Today was the first day of practice at St. John Fisher. And, you know, they had a couple highlights. I unfortunately couldn't get there. Just to show you how popular the Bills are, the tickets for the training camp were all free. The site, Ticketmaster, to get the tickets crashed because there were 10,000 people waiting to get tickets.
Oh, my
So that was today. Yeah, that was today. And Gabe Davis, again, what he's known for in Buffalo is his toe-tapping catches. It's kind of like a ballerina there. I don't know if he's ever taken ballet, but his toes, literally, you know, he can catch, and he keeps his toes on the tip of his toes inside, so he's not going out of bounds. It's so impressive. You ever want to, you know, just search for some of his catches? They're just jaw-dropping to see him. You know, so we know that, you know, we know that we've got some incredible players going into this season, and that's what I'm excited about.
Well, my goodness, I love how you took basically half the show away from me announcing it. I'll take that, Patty. You got the job. Man. What a way to this is, like I said, 12 of 12 interviews today. What a way to give me a rest, man. Thanks, Patty. I appreciate that. Well, I'll tell you.
Like you said, I'm passionate. There's no question there.
I'll take it. Well, going back to the schedule real quick, like you said, the tough loss to Pittsburgh. Then you guys went 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row over Miami, Washington, Houston, and those Chiefs. Tough, good game there. Then you guys
that was a good game. That was a really good game.
A really, really good game. Then you guys would fall to the dang Titans on the road. Then go to the bye week. Then welcome Miami and send them away with an L. Then go down to Jacksonville and have probably one of my all-time favorite scores. Because I love good defense. Okay, 9-6. You guys would fall to the Jaguars. That was definitely a head scratcher. But you guys would get
painful.
You guys would get very, 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 very angry. And take it out on the Jets the very next week, putting up 45 points on them. And then you would keep that same anger from the Jaguars, and you would actually no, I'm sorry. Then you would head over to Indianapolis, and I don't know, I guess you guys spent it all in one place, because then you guys would lose to the Colts. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Then you would
I was there too.
You would get very angry at the Colts and move on, and then head over to New Orleans and smack them around. Then you would come back home and get beat by a Tom Brady list. I'm just kidding. You guys would get beat by New England Patriots. Then you actually would go see Tom Brady and lose to him in overtime, 33-27. Then come home, and you guys would get tired of losing and say, you know what, we're not going to lose any more games. And you didn't, beating Carolina, New England, Atlanta, and then the Jets. Then you guys would go on to the wild card, and you guys would so happen to see the Patriots. What a joy it must have been to absolutely destroy the team that has been smacking you guys silly for 2 full decades, 47-17 in the wild card, sending them home. And then the next week came, and well,
Yeah, well, we're not going to discuss that game.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
You would defeat them 38-20 on October 10th in the regular season, and, well, could not duplicate that on the 23rd of January, falling 42-36 in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs. Ouch. Okay, we'll close the door on that one, and there you go. So, closing the door on the season officially, Patty's all like, I closed the door a long time ago. Why did you have to bring it up? I'm sorry. So, with that said,
That's okay.
Ben,
I just don't understand why we always have to go to Kansas City to play them. Why don't they come here? I know they've come here before, but it's like every single year. And again, in 2022, guess what? We got to play them again in Kansas City, on week 6. We've got to play them again. It's like, stop, enough. Have them bring them here. Come on.
Seriously, right? Well, taking a quick look at free agency, Patty, there were some big-time pickups and departures. I think the elephant in the room is Von Miller coming on over from the Rams. Roger Saffold actually coming over from the Titans. You guys will pick up Case Keenum, I guess. Okay, cool. Daquan Jones coming on over. O.J. Howard, I love that pickup.
Yes.
So, but then again, there were some other ones too. You guys would have some departures. I think, of course, Vernon Butler. I'm so happy he's coming to be a Raider. You guys would, Trubisky. Okay, I guess. Okay, whatever. Levi Wallace. Levi Wallace heading over to the Steelers.
That was a tough loss. That was a really tough loss.
Yeah.
I think that. We just couldn't keep everybody. We're so tight with the salary cap because we just had to make a lot of adjustments, and several of the players actually agreed to restructuring. Like Matt Milano, he had to restructure some contract extensions so that they can give them a little more money up front. And then our punter, Matt Hawk, who, obviously we drafted another punter who is the punt god, Matt Razai, and, he agreed to a pay cut. So I don't even know if he's going to make the team, but kudos to him for recognizing that he needed to do what he had to do. He had a horrible year last year, and the weather had a lot to do with it. I mean, I think, he had punted, I believe it was, he's from Miami, and he wasn't used to this weather.
Yeah.
So he was bad.
I'll tell you. Poor Pat. I'll tell you, though. Then you would go to the draft. Okay, I'm going to combine it. Because once again, you kind of already hit on some of this already. But then in the draft, my goodness, 23rd overall, Kaiir Elam, corner out of Florida. I was very impressed with seeing a lot of his film, and he looks pretty solid. James Cook, running back out of Georgia.
Loved him.
A record 8 players from Georgia drafted in the first round, and my goodness, they kept on coming. All through the draft, there were Georgia players everywhere, and this is one of them. You guys picked up a solid running back here. Terrell Bernard, linebacker out of Baylor. You guys pick up Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. You mentioned already Matt Ariza, punter out of San Diego State from my neck of the woods over here, our neck of the woods, and Christian Bedford, corner out of Villanova, a little, smaller school guy in the 6th round. Then, of course, get some more guys. Luke Tenuta, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech, and looks like Balin Spector, linebacker out of Clemson.
Linebacker, yeah.
So, with that said, looking at free agency and the draft altogether, Patty, what are your thoughts about these, of course, about the departures and as well as some of these new guys coming on in?
Well, I've already mentioned, my heart, I'm very good friends with Harrison Phillips' mom and dad, and Harrison's done so much in the community. He was our Walter Payton Man of the Year. He finished 3rd in the voting. So that was probably the toughest loss for me. And I still, actually, it's funny, I was just texting his mom and dad today because a very big fan of our show, our podcast, Patty Champion, made some bucket hats for my husband and myself.
She's awesome.
And she's incredible. And today I just picked them up and I posted a picture, and I heard from Tammy and Paul, who's Harry's mom and dad, and they really loved it because he also made some things for them too. But he was definitely a loss, and I'm really going to miss, a few of the other players that left. Jerry Hughes, he went on to sign with Texas, the Texans. Also, following Mario Edson, who also went to the Texans. And then I was just hearing some rumors that Cole Beasley, who's really not gone anywhere, he also might sign with Texas. So we'll see. But one of my, other losses, I really loved the year we had with Emmanuel Sanders. And I don't know if he's going to retire. It looks like he probably won't sign on with another team unless, injuries or something. So those are, some sad losses. But I would say, obviously what everybody knows is our number one signing, where we had to do a lot of restructuring to get him to even be with us, is Von Miller. I mean, that guy, defensive end Von Miller, he's on a mission. And, at first there was some talk about, his age, we don't want to overplay him. And today he made it very clear he wants to be on the field. And he is impressive. I'll tell you, just watching some of the videos today, how he's interacting with the fans. He was on the plane to Buffalo having second thoughts. I mean, when you think about it, he's leaving Los Angeles to come to Buffalo. And I love Buffalo. My heart and soul is in Buffalo. But really, the weather in Los Angeles versus the weather in Buffalo, although Buffalo, we have the best summers in the world. I'm telling you right now, our weather's incredible. But getting back to Von Miller, he really, for him to come here, that shows he believes in our team. He loves Josh Allen. Steph Diggs had a lot to do with him coming here. He is ready to share what he knows with our team. And, another player, tight end, O.J. Howard, who can maybe help with some 2 tight end set with Dawson Knox. I think he's going to be a great addition. Roger Saffold, I don't know if you heard that he was in a car accident, so he had some rib injuries. And he's right now on the PUP list. So I'm not quite sure, when he'll be ready. They're saying that he should be ready by the start of the season. That was really kind of disturbing because I thought he could bring a lot to the offensive line. So I don't know. Hopefully he'll be healed in no time. But I've had rib injuries, and they're not fun. So
they're not.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But I want to give a shout out to a player who's coming back. 2 players actually who are coming back to the Bills, who played for the Bills. Defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, who was most recently with the Arizona Cardinals. Do you know? I don't know if you know this, Larry, but he went to the Bills Kansas City game in Kansas City wearing Bills attire.
Oh wow!
While he was still playing for Arizona. So what does that say? What it speaks to me is that he didn't know he was going to sign with the Bills again, but there's something exciting happening here, and I don't know, maybe it's happening to other teams, but I get chills when I think about the love of these teammates. The other 2 guys that came back, Shaq Lawson, he was the defensive end.
Yeah.
He was with the Jets. Yep. He's back. I'm thinking Jordan Phillips has more of a chance to make the team than Shaq Lawson, but who knows? We'll see. There's going to be a lot of competition. I would say, one other guy I just want to mention, Matt Barkley, Jamison Crowder. Those guys, they're going to bring some. Matt Barkley was here before, so I think he's going to be somebody that Josh feels very comfortable with, in the quarterback room. But I've got to say, I think because we have 89 guys on the roster right now, there are going to be some guys that are going to be cut and on the practice squad that would be starters on other teams. And that's what happened in the draft. We drafted players not so much for need, but for talent. Because they're, when you finish in the AFC East title, and you're almost 1 game away from the Super Bowl, or 2 games away, you literally don't need a whole lot. It's maybe changing some philosophies, some strategies, not necessarily players. So I just think we've got a stacked team, and it's going to be really hard to make the team. And I think that there's going to be a lot of competition, and the competition is only going to raise the level of the team even higher. And I'm excited to see where it's going. I mean, if day one of training camp is any indication with the rookies, just watching, especially James Cook. You know, his brother is Dalvin Cook, who plays for the Minnesota Vikings. So there's football in the blood there. And then Kaiir Elam's father, he actually played in the NFL too, and he played collegiately at Notre Dame. And then his uncle, Matt Elam, was a first-round pick in the 2013 draft. He played for the Ravens for 3 seasons. So, you know, again, that family blood is going to be really, really critical. And James Cook actually did some workouts during the summer with Devin Singletary in the off season. So they both trained in Florida, and today at practice he was catching passes. I think he's going to be used more of a pass catcher than just a straight running back. So I'm curious to see, you know, we had another loss, which you're very clearly aware of, Brian Dable taking over the head coach for the Giants. Sorry about that, for the Giants. And Ken Dorsey's now in charge. And, you know, they've asked Josh a lot of times about how he feels, and he is beyond thrilled because Ken Dorsey was a quarterback. So he knows what Josh is going through, and he's ready to take over this offense. And he's aggressive. He's somebody who, you know, on the field, he's out there every play. He's almost like he's reliving his time as a quarterback. So I think we're in really good hands. And he learned from Brian Dable. You know, he learned under him, so I think we'll be fine. I think there won't be any need to be worried. And it wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of years he leaves to be a head coach somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. And, you know, Betty, we've got there's so much here with the Bills tonight. The last thing we got to do really is just get to the schedule. And honestly, I mean, you guys are in kickoff. You guys are playing the championship Los Angeles Rams. First game of the season, Thursday Night Football, September 8th. It is going to be awesome. You guys take on those Rams to start off. It looks like we have here, you guys are taking on, if I'm not mistaken, it is of course, aside from your AFC East schedule, I see here, it looks like the AFC, well, that's kind of funny. Okay, here we go. Looks like the NFC North this year. You guys are taking on the AFC North, and you guys are also taking on the NFC North, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so the NFC North and the AFC North, and then we have the couple outlier teams. Let's see, who are those outliers? Looks like the Kansas City Chiefs from the AFC West, and it looks right, and it looks like the AFC South. You're taking on it looks like Tennessee, the Tennessee Titans out of the AFC South. So that is your guys' schedule right now. What you guys are looking like? What do you think personally, Patty? I mean, we've kind of gone over a lot of things already, but short and sweet. What are you expecting this year from this team?
Yeah, I think, you know, looking at the schedule, I mean, as a Bills fan, you know, as any fan of any team, you don't want to even think your team could lose to anybody. So I've been going back and forth between 15-3 and 14-4 because I think we need to get to that mark to take over first place and have home field advantage. And I'm not really sure where the losses are going to be, except the first few games of the season. I don't know about Miami, but I would say up until week 8 when we play Green Bay, we've got kind of a tough schedule. We've got the Rams, Titans. The Titans are coming here for the opening game, and it's a Monday night game on September 19th. And our crowd gets insane when we have a night game. So I think the fact Tennessee's coming here, and there will be a crowd, unlike when they came and it was COVID year and there was no crowd, I think we're going to be able to take them. But I would, you know, realistically, I'm going to say 14-4, although I think they can go 15-3. Of course, I always think they're going to go 18-0. But, you know, but like I said, it's painful when you have to pick losses for your team. And I just really know that the head-scratching losses we had last year, especially with the Jacksonville game, that's not going to happen again. You know, there's a saying, as you know, I have a master's in counseling, and in counseling we learned, Nietzsche once said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm 100% convinced that the Bills learned from such a painful lesson. So you can't predict. We don't have a crystal ball. I mean, we know that luck and injuries and, of course, weather, they can all play a major role in the outcome of the game. And this is where the Bills are at an advantage because we have a lot of depth. Our team members, our team players have a lot of familiarity with each other. They, you know, love each other. They're spending training camp not in, you know, back in Orchard Park. They're not in their homes. They're in a dorm, a college dorm.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a reason. They're doing bonding activities. They're doing things where they don't have the distractions of their home life or the temptations. They're together. And, you know, like I said, sadly, we're going to lose a lot of good players that really want to be here. And, you know, I think the Bills had a 5-1 record against the AFC East in 2021. We just had that loss, that crazy, bizarre loss to the Patriots. And I think that, you know, the teams in the AFC East, other than the Patriots, I think the Jets and Miami have gotten better. You know, they had great drafts, and you know, Miami got Tyreek Hill. But it'd be interesting to see, is Tyreek Hill going to be the same with Tua as he is, or was, I should say now, with Patrick Mahomes? That's going to be an interesting, you know, outcome to see. What difference is it going to make, you know?
Agreed.
Was it all the quarterback, you know?
Yeah, agreed, Patty.
So,
Well, one last thing to do, and, well, this is always the funnest part, I think, for a lot of people, segment here. And, well, as we've said time and time again in this 8 divisions in 8 days, Patty, there are 3 other teams in this division that you'll love to not like, and they love to not like you right back. And that's what also makes this so much fun with the rivalries. So with that said, Patty, you talked about the Bills season, how I think they're going to do. Well, you can either be nice and polite and respectful, you can be mean and ugly, or you can be a combination of both. You have 2 minutes on the clock. Patty, let us know how those other 3 teams are going to do in this season. Of course, you know, don't hesitate to let us know how you really feel about them. Patty Backs, stick it to them.
All right, Larry, I am known for my poems, and I've got a good one tonight. It's entitled, Our Year. The waiting is over. It's time to begin and not look back at the past. The Bills and the Bills Mafia can't let the pain, shock, and awe of last year's season-ending game last. We have what it takes to win inside and out. We know this to be true. And more than anything, we have players who want to be in Buffalo and proudly wear the red, white, and blue. It starts with heart, determination, hard work, love for the game, your teammates, fans, and having relentless pride. With each snap of the ball, each first down, each touchdown, each tackle, each defensive interception, the Bills have Bills Mafia love on their side. Players, coaches, staff, and fans all believe with focus and hard work, this is our year, nothing less. The rest of the AFC East, we won't name names, so let's just say it's a mess. The teams will all be looking up to see how it's done to be the beast of the East, the NFL, and to win it all. We won't have to wait much longer as the journey's begun with the start of training camp today, and we are standing tall. Go Bills!
Patty, you never cease to amaze. You fork over what sounds so nasty and treacherous for wonderful, amazingly well-written poems like how you usually do. You have songs. You do all these things, I'm telling you. Patty, you never cease to amaze, and I love it. And what a segment. What a way to end it off. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Patty, I just want to say thank you again. You do so much here at the station. You do great with the blogs. You do amazing job on your show, and way to call it, or way to end this show here today. My goodness, that was awesome. Please let all these Bills fans know exactly where to find you, your show, and anything else you'd like to share before we're out of here.
You're so welcome, Larry. And I actually wrote that poem yesterday. I was at the Buffalo Bison game, the farm team for the Blue Jays, and I wrote that while I was sitting waiting for the game to start. An incredible game. I've never been to a baseball game like it. It was 6-0 in the fourth inning, and the Bisons came back to win with a walk-in home run, believe it or not, in the 10th inning. It was incredible. I posted the video on my Twitter page, which you can find me at. I actually do the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax, and you can find me every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. You can find me on Twitter at Buffalo Huddle, HUDL_IE. So please check me out. Check out all of the IE Sports Radio great shows, and you're in for a real treat. We're a great team, and certainly under the leadership of you, Larry, and Cecilia, and the sky's the limit. And I can't wait for the season to start, as you can tell.
Well, we definitely appreciate you so much. It goes right back to you, Patty, all the appreciation and thanks and praise. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well this season. It's going to be fun. We're excited, and this is going to be another special season. So glad to have you a part of this team, Patty. So glad to have everybody that we have. And, well, this is just a great team, and as you said, and we're just so excited for everyone, much like yourself, just great people, and this great team continues to build and get even better. So thank you so much, Patty, for that. You have a wonderful rest of your night. A wonderful rest of your, both rest of your night, I guess you could say weekend as well. A wonderful rest of your week, and this show will air on Tuesday, of course. And yeah, we will talk to you very soon. We will see you then. And well, I will not hesitate to call you up for many primetime face-offs this year. It's going to be great, Patty. With that said, thanks again. Have a wonderful week. Take care, and God bless. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. God bless. Thank you, Larry.
Anytime. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Patty Bax. My goodness, great stuff as always. That's going to do it for me in a long 12-hour day. Because, 12 interviews recorded today, of course, on Sunday. This is this show right now on Tuesday. You know how that goes all the time, guys. Pre-recorded interviews are fun. But with that said, you guys, that is going to do it for AFC East Day. When we get back, I'll give you my final weigh-in on the AFC East this season. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days. AFC Week Day number 2. AFC East Day. Just wrapping it up. Once again, when we get back, that is my final weigh-in of the AFC East for this season. It's going to be some fun. We'll get all that right back after this. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Are you a fan of the best teams in the Buckeye State? Then this is a show for you. This is the State of Ohio Sports, where I, your host, Andrew Higginbotham, will bring you all the professional news as well as all things college from Northeast Ohio and Cleveland all the way down to Southwest Ohio and Cincinnati, and even in the heart of the state in the state capital of Columbus. So if this sounds like the show for you, check out the State of Ohio Sports show every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' the NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on reppin' in NorCal sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
What's up, everybody? This is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteShow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan? Indeed.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest owners. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pop culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head primetime face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss it. And it is going to be a wild show, as per usual, coming up this season. Man, I'm so damn excited to get this show going. There's so much to do, actually, with this show. And my gosh, my fall is going to be packed. Absolutely packed. After the conclusion, for those of you who are wondering what's going on after the conclusion of 8 divisions in 8 days, well, yeah, we're going to take a little layoff, a little break. I may or may not jump in with preseason stuff as early as maybe August 9th, 2 weeks from today. I think that might be a good idea, I guess, to do some preseason kind of stuff, some preseason type of shows. But then the real deal, after kickoff on September 8th happens, that'll be the 13th, Tuesday, September 13th, will be the first actual day where 3 and Out, we actually have our usual regular season type deal. And this is where I will go ahead and do the recap from last week, give you my thoughts, comments, opinions, that whole fun thing. You know, the usual podcast, that is, I guess you can call it, like the traditional podcast, and then preview the next week and all that good stuff. And then let's get ready for the primetime face-offs, which are going to be starting on Saturday, September 8th, and that is going to be every Saturday. Taryn and I will do College Edition, of course, on Saturdays at 7 a.m. That will be starting on August 20th. As you can see, plenty of stuff, right? So, but the primetime face-offs will be starting, of course. There will be one on Wednesday evenings, and then there'll be 2 in the 8 o'clock hour on the Pacific Coast, and then the 11 o'clock hour on the East Coast, on the Atlantic Coast, if you will. And yeah, those will be the face-offs. So the Wednesday will be, of course, for Thursday Night Football, and the Saturdays will be for both Sunday and Monday Night Football. So, yep, round and round we go. So, with that said, you guys, let's get into my thoughts here on the AFC East. First things first, can we get an applause, man? Everybody today, great stuff. Awesome stuff, as always, and certainly enjoyed it. Can't believe we're actually 6 days through this beast, as we only have 2 more shows. Tomorrow with the AFC South, and Thursday with the AFC North. Sorry, I was like, wait a minute, NFC, but yeah, I was last week. As you can see, I am everywhere. But quick and dirty, this division isn't hard to sum up. It really isn't. I mean, there's a little bit of a challenge in here, and once again, this is all speculation. This is all what we think. We have no idea. None of us, not even the most experts out there. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, some can give even a little better analysis, but at the end of the day, nothing is going to ever top what goes down on the field, right? So that's the real deal. But hey, it's always fun to speculate and give our thoughts and opinions, right? So first things first, I mean, it'd be silly to not put the Bills Mafia up top. The Buffalo Bills are strong. Some people think they can go on a Super Bowl run this year. I am one of them. I think they can definitely get back to the bowl this year, but it's going to take a lot. I mean, they got to fight through some massive monster teams in the AFC West, and they just have a lot to. It's a whole other season, as we've said time and time again on the show, when it gets to the playoffs. So the Bills, believe it or not, I think they could go as high as 15-2. I mean, my goodness, they can. If they do better than that, man, it's a big possibility they can go to the Super Bowl. But I think right now, 15-2, between 15-2 and 13-4 is realistic. I mean, if they lose more than 4 games this year, it's possible, but I just don't see it. I think they're one of the powerhouse teams of the entire NFL, definitely in the AFC, and without a doubt in the AFC East. the entire AFC East will go through Buffalo, and it may be possible that the playoffs, may go through Buffalo. But then again, we'll see. Once again, we have a very hungry AFC West that we talked about yesterday. So overall, I think that's a realistic spot for the Bills. Between those records, 15-2 and 13-4. Then we move on to second place, which is an absolute toss-up. I want to put New England in second because it's Bill. I don't need another reason, guys. It's Bill. I get it. Brady's not there now, but Mac Jones is a youngster, man. Let's not forget. Yeah, Tom Brady jumped in after Bledsoe went down and never looked back. We all know the story. But this young guy with Bill, I'm just saying, it was one season. Bill's Bill. And until Bill's gone, that Patriots dynasty, it isn't over. So I feel like Bill is doing his thing over there, and he makes I don't know. He makes these coaches. Don't get me wrong; these coaches and players are all coaches and players before they get to him in their career at some point. But it's Bill, so I would love to say that they're going to be a strong second place, but I can't say that because it's Bill, yes, and they're certainly going to get their licks, and I think they're still a playoff team. Possibly, but they're going to need to show it early and get the season going early. That's really it. They got to start hot, and they cannot start slow. So, with that said, the Dolphins are a strong team, and I do believe that they will surpass the Patriots this year, but only by a thin margin. I have the Dolphins between 12-5, and that's on the high end. Okay, don't get crazy. The Dolphins can go, I think, around 12-5. Will they? Probably not, but it's a possibility. I have the Dolphins also going as low as 9-8 because that's also a very real possibility. Is it likely? No, but is 12-5 likely? Not really. Is 9-8 likely? Not really. I think they could possibly be maybe a 10 or 11 game, 10 or 11 win team this year, and that's very fair. But on the high end, honestly, I do think that, hey, the Dolphins can squeak out one more. Hey, that's great. But then they also can lose one more, and so I have them between 12-5 and 9-8. And the Patriots, I actually have them at 11-6 or 9-8 between there. So it's fair. To me, that's fair. If Dolphins happen to win one more, that one more might be over the Patriots. I mean, they swept them last year, if I'm not mistaken. So the Dolphins swept the Patriots last year. So it's a big possibility, but that second and third isn't a toss-up. Regardless, it's going to be great football, and that's where I have it. But if I have to really just give you my 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and yes, the Jets are in the basement again, but they're improving. Am I saying but as in next year they're going to be a Super Bowl contender? No. The Jets have a long way to go, and they just got to continue to make good moves. I thought this is a great start. This offseason was wonderful. Those Jets, honestly, I think are a solid team when it comes to where they've been. But as in relation to as a comparison to the rest of the division, especially, the team that they're going to be fighting the most, I feel like, for third place is probably going to be the Patriots. I know Michael was very optimistic in the interview. Big shout out, and once again, big shout out to everybody who was a part of the show, because once again, it was wonderful talking to everybody, man. That was great. Good old Patty Bax finishing in Miss Patty Bax style. With her poem at the end. So, yeah, Mrs. Patty Bax, she is awesome. Mr. Michael, great talking to him as well. He was very optimistic for the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year and thinking that the Patriots will finish over thinking that the Jets will win over the Patriots or finish over the Patriots in the AFC East. And, hey, you know what? Anything can happen. I'm not going to doubt his analysis, because once again, it's just like mine. It can go out the window in a second. So, is what it is. And then, of course, also great talking as well to Mr. Nino Brown and George. Great guys right there, man. Just wonderful, wonderful job by all of them, and they were all wonderful. So thank you all for being on today's show, and thank you all today for listening as well. But I do feel that the Jets will be better than they were, maybe. But once again, this all depends on the wins and losses in the rest of the division. Overall, on the high end, and this is, I just can't go any higher. It's just, it would be insane for me to say anything higher than this, but I'm going to go 7-10 on the high end for the Jets. I mean, come on, guys. Last year they were just bad. I mean, they need to, a lot needs to be done. But I'm going to say 7-10 on the high end and 4-13 on the low end. Once again, a lot needs to happen. This team needs a lot. So, overall, these 4 teams are very good, fighting each other, and I love it. And we're going to see. We may see some upsets. You might see the Jets upset everybody, I mean, I don't know, maybe not everybody. I mean, don't forget, the Raiders upset everybody in 2010. Went 6-0 in the AFC West, but yeah, went also 6-10 in the season. So just saying, it's happened. But I don't think the Jets are going to do that. But I mean, if they did, that'd be crazy. But overall, you guys, I feel like this is a special season for the Bills. I do think they can really get as far as the AFC Championship. Into the Super Bowl, I think they're Super Bowl caliber. But once again, that AFC West is strong, and whoever comes out of that thing, that just might be the Super Bowl contender this year for the AFC. But once again, we'll find out. With that said, you guys, man, what a show. And we are going to close the door on another episode of 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days. Episode number 6, if you will. And we got just 2 more to go. So there is my final weigh-in on the AFC West. Big shout out and thank you to everybody who was a part of the show today and all of our listeners. And well, there's only one thing left to do for today's show, and I think y'all know what that is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cue the music, because we're out of here. Alright, y'all, that is gonna do it. Man! By the way, your guys' voting poll just finished up, and looks like, to the 10 of you who voted, 100% or 90% of you think the Bills is going to win the AFC East. I know, I put them out there just like last minute, my apologies. Somebody says we have, what was that, I think, for the Jets, or for the Dolphins, 10%, and then 0-0 for the Jets and Patriots. I know, I never really get to see a chance to grow and have you guys, get some of the realism there. But I do think the Bills are going to win it, so, I mean, I can't argue with that. With that said, you guys, thank you to everybody, man. That was a fun one. I really enjoyed that today, as always. Tons of fun. Thank you to everybody who was in the chat room. Appreciate you, Aaron X. This is a good show. Thank you, sir. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Kale Henderson, Mr. Marcus Lowe's great. Terran Rodriguez, Aaron X, everybody who was in there today. I just appreciate you all. And yeah, this is a great turnout this year. And well, coming up tomorrow, well, we're moving fast, you guys. Look at this. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to jump on into the AFC South. Oh, man, that's going to be a fun one, right? We have, of course, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Titans. I'll tell you, we have a good one coming tomorrow. Aaron X in the chat room is actually going to be on that show tomorrow. We pre-recorded our interview on Sunday. Davidson Crooks also going to be a part of that one from his Titans. So, great stuff. About to interview our Jaguars fan right after the show, as a matter of fact. So, that'll be on there. Also, Mr. Christopher Murphy. We talked to him about his Texans. So, really good stuff for tomorrow. Really excited for that one. And then, of course, on Thursday, we ended off with the AFC North. Ravens, Steelers, Browns, and Bengals. Oh, my! We're going to have some fun, you guys. And, well, let's do this. So, with that said, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much. Every single week, I appreciate you all for tuning in and just being a part of this. And let's keep doing what we do, right? Stay safe, everybody out there. Please avoid all the nonsense. Be happy. As I always say, all glory to God, for without him, nothing is possible. That's right. That's right. Without him, nothing is possible. None of us, none of anything, not IE Sports Radio or nothing. So, and also, without you guys, IE Sports Radio is not possible. So we thank you all so very much. Thank you for tuning in. And, well, that's going to close the door on this show. Coming up tomorrow, we're ready to rock and roll with the AFC South right here on 3 and Outs, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC Day number 2, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.